McAfee Show.
There will be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we can talk about.
Yes, speaking his mind.
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
While being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Good afternoon, beautiful people. It is Wednesday, December 9th, 2020, in the Pat McAfee Show on Sirius XM, Channel 82, Mad Dog Sports Radio begins right now. Shout out to Twine for that beat drop. Tuesday night football was riveting last night. Joe Buck and Troy Aikman were on the call while the Baltimore Ravens only passed for 107 yards and beat the Dallas Cowboys by 17 points. Congrats to the Baltimore Ravens on covering, and for all of us that hammered the Baltimore Ravens -8.5, -9, wherever the hell you got it, didn't matter. You won. And shout out to the Cowboys for being dead. I mean, that is a problem. Zeke Elliott, we were just talking moments before we came on the air, had probably his best game in a long time last night. It did not matter. That Ravens team looked in control from very much beginning to very much the end. And now the conversation revolves around not as the Baltimore Ravens have a chance to make a run, because I think a lot of people think probably not, but maybe we'll see what happens with that team. But are the Cowboys just done for? And whenever you look at the stat that the most rush yards in a game by a team this season, number one overall is the 307 yards that the Browns had rushing. And that game was against the Dallas Cowboys. And number two is the 294 yards that the Baltimore Ravens had last night against the Dallas Cowboys. The defense is broken. The offense seems to be dead. Jerry Jones is taking shots at Dak Prescott for how he plays now, and Dak Prescott has just been able to walk yet again for the first time in a long time after his gruesome injury. The Dallas Cowboys, once America's team, the team that used to be shoved down our throats on national television 11, 12 weeks out of the year, no matter what, seem to be in a long fight with relevancy, because their team is going to stink for a long time. Troy Aikman said it almost like disheartened last night about how there's just so many things that have to fix. But if you look at that offense for the Dallas Cowboys and you go across, you got Amari Cooper, CeeDee Lamb, Michael Gallup is good, Ezekiel Elliott, Tony Pollard. Now, granted, Andy Dalton was playing quarterback last night, but they put some stats up. He has a bunch of Cincinnati Bengals records. Not that the Cincinnati Bengals are, a known great football team, but he played some, and that team just couldn't do it. They just couldn't do anything. And then on the defensive side of the ball, I mean, I guess there was a couple of weeks where they put up a good fight, but you go back to week 6 where they were coming out and saying that the coaches can't coach, and then the next day, like, the safety came out and said, we can't go full speed every single rep. There's no way we can do that, which, by the way, is probably a normal thing that is thought amongst safeties and defensive backs, but just not something you say publicly. That team is broken. Is Mike McCarthy the problem? Are the Dallas Cowboys the problem? And then all fingers normally start facing at Jerry Jones. Is he the problem in Dallas? There'll be a lot to talk about throughout the day about that. Or the Baltimore Ravens, good conversation. Also, we're, 3/4 of the way through the season almost at this point. We got to see who's in, who's out of the playoff picture. Let's look at next year's salary cap. What teams are fucked for the long haul here? Plus some phone calls. 1-888-MAD-DOG-6 from you. T.Y. Hilton will be joining us in about 30 minutes. And Delaney Walker, former tight end for the Titans, will be joining us alongside A.J. Hawk in the third hour. The Big Ten's changing some things up so that Ohio State can make it into the Big Ten championship, which can get into the college football playoff, something that we thought would end up happening, but also a situation that the Big Ten presidents put themselves in by making the schedule as stupid as they made it whenever they saw every other conference handling things in a much different fashion and in a successful fashion. So you kind of made the bed, now you got to sleep in it, but they have a pre-scheduled meeting to address some things, either today or tomorrow, I forget the exact, and they are today, and they will talk about, I assume, dropping the minimum games needed to get into the Big Ten championship, which was at 6 whenever they decided to make an 8-week schedule in 8 weeks only with no buffer space while a worldwide pandemic is happening, because their initial decision was one that was laughed at by everybody else in their world. There's a lot going on. Got to talk to all the boys about it. At Tone Diggs, you just bought a house. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Tone Diggs had to sign the 400 piece of paper that you have to sign whenever you buy a house. Congratulations to you. Last night, I think we all won our bet, right? We all hammered the Ravens last night?
You guys had the Ravens. I had Amari Cooper under. He did hit as well.
Congratulations.
So,
Congratulations. I said that I would hammer the Lamar Jackson over on passing yards, 181.5. But I also said that you just have to do it because it's the NFL. Like at 181.5 yards, starting quarterback in the NFL, especially the MVP last year, if it's that low, you have to hammer it. And by the way, I didn't bet it myself, so it's kind of fucked up that I didn't lose money alongside anybody that potentially listened to me saying that and lost money. So I will make up and lose money elsewhere for you, everybody else that did that. Potentially a lot of it I'll lose. Yeah, anyways. Good decisions. The Ravens, though, in the AFC North, after last night, do you have any change of thought that they're going to be in the conversation? Because the Browns are at 9-3. The Steelers are at 11-1. Now the Ravens get a win, but they've been a question mark all season, legitimately. That's a culture that we don't know if it's still together or not. Get a good win over the Cowboys, maybe that turns some things around. Are you a little bit worried about that, Tone Diggs, as a diehard Pittsburgh Steelers fan?
I'm not worried about it because we're so far out in front that it doesn't matter to the Steelers. They did get back to some of the things that make them great last night. Like, they ran the ball obviously great, but that was against the Dallas Cowboys. I'm excited. I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, if anybody knows, I believe they have the Cleveland Browns this weekend. So I'm very excited to watch that game.
Hey, that's a big game.
Huge. Because Cleveland hasn't been able to beat the Steelers nor the Ravens. And if they really want to take that next step, I'm excited to see it this weekend.
Well, Baker Mayfield had one of the best baseball slides I've ever seen on a baseball field or on a football field last week whenever he slid in sideways, turned that sumbitch around at the end of the red carpet and started taking photos of old buddy who scored a touchdown. It was amazing. One of the best gifts I've seen in a long time, by the way, him sliding and turning and doing that whole thing. But that team, the Browns get a win. The Ravens get a win.
Oh, boy.
Steelers get a loss.
Sorry.
Our team's trending in different directions in the AFC North.
This week they were, yeah.
Yeah, but can we judge anything else? I mean, if the Steelers win there, you're like, okay, they've been on a 12-game win streak. Here we go. They're going. They're climbing. They're getting wins in games that they're not supposed to win, much like what they did against Gary Gilbert a few weeks ago. Then you got the Browns. They're celebrating. They're feeling very good. They're hot. Jarvis Landry's playing well. Baker's slinging. They're getting hot. Baltimore Ravens, back to being the Baltimore Ravens. Oh, my God. Are the Steelers potentially getting cold while everybody else is getting hot in their own division?
Yeah, those teams are celebrating, but they were also celebrating before the Steelers beat both of them, so that happened too.
All right, you're right.
Especially for the Browns by 30.
Well, the interesting thing is it doesn't matter what you did earlier,
True.
Everybody knows it. You have to get hot late in the season. Have to get hot late in the season. And the Ravens, but, dude, the Cowboys are so bad. Look at what's that stat right there? The top 2 games rushing against a team this year both go against the Dallas Cowboys. 307 yards by the Browns. Oh, no. Even more so correlation. The AFC North potentially problematic.
Boy.
Browns are rushing for 307 yards against the team. Ravens are rushing for 294. Steelers almost lost to Gary Gilbert and the Cowboys. They didn't even have. Oh, no. Did the Steelers lose last night again watching the Ravens win? That's a question that has to be asked.
All I see there is that Baker and Lamar stink. So
okay, yeah. Well, Steelers didn't even try to run the ball probably in that game, if it's anything like that. Another team that's getting hot, the Patriots. Do you think you guys have any chance of making a move in the playoffs? Because that's what we're talking about, by the way. That's why your speech yesterday, which was fantastic. And you said, we'll see you in the playoffs. It's like, yeah, no shit. We hope you make it to the goddamn playoffs. You went 11-0. You didn't even allude to a potential Super Bowl run, but that's what we're in this for. Are the Patriots a team that could make it to the Super Bowl, you think?
Unfortunately, no.
Okay, so it's a waste. Let's not talk about it. Let's go
It's real. I mean, what? It would be the last seed and play the Chiefs? The Chiefs are the king. They're going to go to the Super Bowl. I'm sorry, Tony.
I agree.
I'm sorry to Pittsburgh, but the Chiefs are the standard, and they're probably going to win the Super Bowl.
They are such a team that whenever they want, whenever they want to beat the fuck out of you, they'll do one of the things that they made up in the sand and they'll throw them on to the knee, man. They really will do that, though.
Yeah.
They just make up plays, I feel like, in the huddle almost. They're like, all right, we're down 21. We need that 22-point play. What is it? Okay, here it is. Sprint backwards 4 times in a row, have Tyreek Hill run around for 10 seconds. He'll be wide open. We'll score a touchdown. And if not him, then we'll go Travis Kelce. It's wild. But they, any given Sunday, they've lost before.
Of course.
And Bill has done some magical things. He's got big game tomorrow night against the Los Angeles Rams. What are you hearing? What are you thinking? I saw that Bill Belichick was speaking to the UCLA Bruins squad about preparation and the process and everything like that. That's quite an advantage to the UCLA team who just signed signed with Jordan, by the way, after getting out of their Under Armour deal. It's quite a come up for them. How do you feel going in the Rams game tomorrow?
I'm shaky on it because the Rams are hot, but me and Gumpy were talking. They really haven't had a good back-to-back games. And the Rams are top 3 in rush defense. Pats are top 3 in rush offense. It's going to be a war in the trenches, which I'm looking forward to. But like I said, it doesn't matter. If we get in, we're going to get the doors blown off of us by Pat Mahomes and the Chiefs. So, I mean, we're just playing to get in the dance. You know, you want a ticket. You want to be able to, hear the music, see what kind of DJ they got, see how the punch tastes.
How's the punch?
Pretty good, but, we're going to get slaughtered if we make it to the playoffs.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of teams that are like that. But
anyone on the bubble, right?
But if Bill Belichick makes it to the playoffs this year with this team, I mean, potential coach of the year candidate.
Absolutely.
I mean, coach of a lifetime, obviously, coach of the league in the history, best coach ever. But if he gets in, you got to remember, not only do they not have any weapons like they had last year, and that is his fault because he built the team. We're not calling him GM of the year. No. We're saying with the team that he built for himself. The team that he put together.
Marquise Lee did, he did opt out.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Patrick Chung. I mean, there's a bunch of people that opted out as well. I mean, it's just, there's a lot of things that I think if they end up somehow squeaking in the door of the playoffs, Bill Belichick should be in the conversation because that team should not be doing that. And Cam's throwing for 60 yards a game, and they're still winning games. I mean, it's wild.
Well, yeah, but the MVP last year is only throwing for 107, so really is the standard changing. It was 100 yards passing in the game, unbelievable.
Is football turning back around?
Feels like it.
Well, if that's the case, then Aaron Rodgers is the best football player of all time.
Exactly.
You guys just got to be laughing right now, feeling pretty good about what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same deal, though. Like you said, I mean, to allude to what you just talked about, it's about winning the fucking Super Bowl, So, I mean, the NFC North stinks, all those games are pretty close, but the Packers still play the Lions this upcoming weekend, and then they got the Bears still. I mean,
redemption game though.
I don't know about
For
that.
who?
For the Bears.
I mean, the Bears stink.
The Bears could have redemption games every single fucking year, and they always lose them. Like for what, the last 20 years going?
Pretty much.
By definition, they're still considered redemption games, though.
Not really. You guys are kind of, because this is like
We need to
desensationalizing.
redeem ourselves.
No, this is like saying everybody's the GOAT. Like this person's the GOAT. This person's the GOAT.
There's only one GOAT.
No, you
Jordan.
ruin Mike Chicago. But it is you ruin, you desensationalize the word. Like you guys, you guys are ruining redemption game because the Bears could have a redemption game every single week, and then still you don't know who the quarterback. But Trubisky did put up points last week, right?
Yeah, he did. Redemption game for him, yeah.
Maybe it was a redemption game. Maybe he's on a revenge tour.
There it is. That's the other word.
There it is.
Yeah.
Mitchell Trubisky's on a revenge tour.
But no, I mean, you feel good about the offense. Obviously, we were talking before the show. I feel like that punt, that's going to come back and bite them in the ass at some point. And really, at this point, looking at like the playoff picture and everything, I'm just hoping the Packers don't play the Vikings in the first round because I think that would be a tough, blood ball type of game.
Yeah, well, the blood ball is a real thing. Zito, what is your poll for the day? I can't wait to hear the results of this one.
Oh, yeah. Today is how long will it take for the Dallas Cowboys to be good again? And right now, 6%, 10 to 15 years. Then it goes to 5 to 10 years at 24.9%, and then never 32%, and 1 to 4 years 37.1%.
So there's still some belief that the Cowboys are going to be able to turn this thing around. Yeah. You look at the roster; they have some good players on, like good name players. Like, hey, this name is a good name. This name is a good name. That's why when everybody's like Jerry Jones got to get out of there, I'm so intrigued by it because I don't think anybody says that their roster is a bunch of shit, right? It's just that the team is. So is Jerry Jones the one that's building the culture for them not to be able to win games? Maybe that's what the conversation revolves around.
Is there any chance Mike McCarthy goes one and done and they get rid of him after this year?
If that happens, by the way, I think we should all be singing a very different tune about Aaron Rodgers' greatness.
Yeah.
Yes, for sure.
You know what I mean? Because I don't think Lombardi's going to fire that defense coach. What's his name?
Mike Nolan.
Because he was living in his basement, right? That entire year they were fired during the Mike McCarthy project. That was basically Tom Pelissero's documentary.
Swan song.
Yeah, it's 30 for 30 or whatever.
Yep.
Yeah. Nolan was living in his goddamn basement. They were doing football meetings every single day. The thing that they weren't doing, though, is figuring out what worked now. I think they're watching film from like the 90s or something like that. Much different game these days.
They could have also just been lying. I'm not sure they're watching film at all.
Well, yeah, I guess you can set up you can kind of set up anything for one of those shoots, I guess.
Oh, yeah. They could have been doing it 2 hours a day.
Foxy and I, by the way, whenever we have conversations with people who aren't from our world, and they'll say something to me, and Fox just look at them and go, that's fucking fake, though. Like if you work on the internet, everything is fake.
Yeah.
It's hard not to think every single thing. I see on
By the
Twitter
way,
is
everything.
fake. Everything's a work.
Everybody comes, like people come up to us and ask us about something, and me and Foxy will give like our oh yeah, it's cool though, yeah. There's no way it's real, but I understand what you're saying. Like, you think that's fake? It's like, God, how easy would that be? It's just that's kind of what the internet is. It does feel like everything's fake. So maybe they did just set up the projector, like classic. We'll set up a couple tables right here. We'll sit around here. We'll put a projector. Okay, we'll just wait.
Put stuff on that fucking
We've
whiteboard.
been in meetings before. We need a dry erase board. Draw some X's and O's in a goddamn square there for the center. Okay, let's go ahead and do that. We can set this up. Tom Pelissero's going to come in. You guys have been doing this, huh? Every day.
Wow.
Every day.
Hide the
Look
pizza
at
boxes.
Look at that trash can. You think that trash can has been empty? No way. That thing's been filled this entire time. No detail left on. And then easily put the documentary together. Because there on his press conference, he said, I told Jer, I watch every snap. That's because I wanted a job.
This is the greatest con of all time.
It's probably all fake, huh?
I mean,
It's all fake.
if I know the type of human.
It's all horseshit.
McCarthy never even watched a goddamn football game. He got to the point where he was so mad at football, he turned against it. He was probably up there in Green Bay with curling, a lot of curling up there. He
Probably
probably
watched The Bachelor.
I doubt he was doing that. There's no way anybody from Pittsburgh watches that.
Speaking of that, think about where we're from. Like that's
No
the most
way.
Pittsburgh thing to ever do is to fake a documentary to get a job for a haircut.
Such a good hey.
I mean, come on.
Respect.
Big Mike.
Now, by the way, this is all alleged, okay? Because I understand some people, like to take things
Allegedly.
completely out of context. What we're saying is we do believe that there is a chance after watching this Dallas Cowboys team play football this year that Mike McCarthy set up that entire shoot for Tom Pelissero to do the Mike McCarthy project, and he did not watch football for a few years.
And that's why you hang on to Kellen Moore.
But also, and he's going to call plays.
Yep.
Okay, why is he going to call plays if you've been watching film in your basement every single day for the last 3 years? Because we haven't been watching film in the basement for the last 3 years. It just looked like we were for a couple times for a documentary. We're not saying that's definite. We're just saying, as knowing some humans from Pittsburgh before and talking to humans from Pittsburgh, that is definitely something that's potentially a story being told around the family dinner table at the McCarthy house. You remember when Mike Donner? You remember when Mike told Jared Jones? He had Tom Pelissero fucking Mike, tell him. Oh, yeah, we even fill up the garbage can. We drew on the dry erase board. I would not be surprised.
That's why Lamar dominated. The hell is that offense doing? What is that, an RPO?
It's an RPO, dude.
Ever seen that?
Bro, we ran play that. He's fucking RPO. I know MTOs, bro. Sheetsteiner.
Now that we put it that way, I respect it.
It does feel
That's
like
hilarious.
he potentially just bamboozled. And Jerry saw that documentary and was like,
Jesus Christ.
get me
he's
in that
got it.
movie. Wow. Get me that guy. Which guy? The guy from the dock. He's been working his tail off while he was fired. God damn, that's definitely what happened.
Yeah.
That's so big.
Allegedly, by the way. Allegedly. We'll talk to AJ Hawk in the third hour on if he thinks Mike McCarthy would do that or not. He knows him a lot better than us. We are just generalizing him as a random Pittsburgh dad, which would have definitely done that. Man, that could be. By the way, with the way they play football, I don't think Mike Nolan, if they were watching film every day, I don't think that guy was. He was potentially working somewhere else. He was potentially like mowing lawns in the neighborhood.
I mean, they also, like, McCarthy looked pretty good when he, first got the job. I mean, he definitely has not missed a buffet line this season. He did this in Green Bay. When he just gave up in Green Bay.
Take it back. Apologize to Mike McCarthy right now. Apologize to Mike McCarthy.
You're right. I mean, he's been taking it in the chops all season.
I'm
sorry,
is that
Mike.
what chops?
Pork chops.
Fucking down
You
for it.
son of a bitch.
You scumbag.
How dare you?
Did you say taking in the chins? Is that what you said?
Oh, hey, I wasn't going there.
We're done.
No,
It's over.
listen, this is what we're not going to do, okay? We're not going to wait 35, 40 seconds for a conversation to be over to get your joke in.
Well, I mean,
That's not what we're going to do.
I just thought I
like,
heard
if it
him.
didn't come, if it didn't come, okay, that one just missed you, okay? Especially if you're going to body shame a man who is
wasn't.
obviously an incredible hustler, bamboozler.
Yeah.
He ain't got time
I get it
to
now.
worry. Zito, yeah, see why you can't do it? Because
on.
now we got to wait for the crowd to catch up. We're like
Yeah.
3 minutes past that whole situation.
I
because of
just wanted to clarify what Ty said. You know how I am with listening. Sometimes I'm in, sometimes I'm out. I didn't hear what he said. I wanted to clarify.
It's very nice of you.
Of course.
Get to a break. This show stinks. Hey, there's no way any humans listen to this show and go, yep, good show. You know what I mean?
No chance.
But if you do, we appreciate you, okay? We really do.
Yeah.
We don't fully understand, but we appreciate it. We'll take some phone calls on the other side. Then we got T.Y. Hilton. That's definitely what happened with Mike McCarthy.
Yeah.
Sounds like it.
He'll buy himself another year when they fire Kellen Moore at the end of the season, too.
I'm going to call plays.
Now I'm back in football. I know what's going on.
Wait till you see what I do with this RPO thing. It does seem like that, though, when you're watching. It's like, this Cowboys team stinks.
Terrible.
And then you have to go back and be like, why were we so mad about the players coming out and saying that these coaches have no fucking idea in week 6? It's like, they were probably right, all right? You guys are probably right, but that's not something you take to the public week 6. Now you potentially go ahead.
Can.
Now you potentially do it.
Let it fly.
All right, this is Pat McAfee Show, Wednesday, December 9th. T.Y. Hilton's on the other side, plus your phone calls. Dumbest show of all time. Good Wednesday, though. We'll see you on the other side.
He's saying don't go off the top, it's too shallow.
All you're going to hear this stadium do is they put the big paw up, they start shaking it, they go, whoa. Hey, what things are going good, Yeah, he loves the defensive side of the ball. He said yesterday to me that this is a blue-collar team. They win it on special teams. They have 5 block kicks this season. The defensive side of the ball, Lynch leads the Big 12 in sacks. But also on the offensive side, Denzel Mims is an absolute animal. He is a weapon. Charlie Brewer, the quarterback from Lake Travis. His dad was a quarterback in Texas. Yeah. His grandpa was a quarterback in Texas. And the people here in Waco just so happen to get a chance to see Charlie Brewer on a daily basis.
Okay.
Hey. Yeah, Boomer here is going to mean a little bit different than what it means on the internet currently. And hopefully here in Baylor, they hope they're not hearing a lot of Boomer sooner. Everybody wants to be a punter, including quarterbacks. If I was a quarterback, I'd want to be a punter as well. 0 yards on that punt. That's an embarrassing situation. The Dak dance that gets on national television has led to a lot of losses, but you got to respect the hips being able
Good to go.
What sign am I going to make for college game day? Well, I want to make something creative. I want to make something fun. No, to hell with it. I don't like OU. It's so thick. Look how thick that thing is. That's years and years of patience. You're headed right for the boat. Right now? Okay, let's do it. We are out here on the Brazos River, which you can take a boat to the game. One of the only stadiums in the country that you can do that. It's beautiful out here. A lot of people would say, this is the last time I'm going to be on game day. The last time I allegedly did what I'm about to do, I ended up in a jail cell. Let's go! Bad decision. The blue kickers are getting some way down here. Hey, a lot higher than I thought.
You look like Ric Flair. That was a sellout, by the way. That was beautiful.
Do we have any other shirts? Yeah, hold on.
You need to go get changed before you get sick.
Great work, Russia. I'm actually not that cold. Hey, I went for it. My chest hurts. It was like 5 feet. I was standing there. That's full commitment, by the way.
Shooting star, they try to guard my energy. My power far from small, I'm moving forward, you can't intervene. This ain't just black and white, so earn your stripes just like a referee.
not talk about
Pat McAfee.
Do not talk about
Pat McAfee.
One fight at a time, fellas.
The Pat McAfee Show.
That's right.
I think it's time for you to spoil the shit out of your dog with BarkBox. 2 toys, 2 treats, and a chew. It starts as low as $22 a month for $60 worth of dog chews and joys. Wow. It's the best day of the month for all of our dogs when their BarkBox arrives. I believe Foxy actually posted a video of his dog, who I would assume is...
She loves opening the BarkBox.
Yeah, see, your dog starts to sense when the BarkBox is coming in. And you got to remember, they're sniffers, even though mine is very large, and you might have a big one as well. Dogs, I think, have like 1,000 times better smell, their sense of smell than you do.
Wow.
So whenever these BarkBoxes show up at the house, the dogs know it, and they're just waiting for your ass to go open the box. And if you don't, like Foxy's dog and our dogs, they will get their paws on top of that thing and be like, excuse me, this is where the good stuff is. And now, nobody would ever want to say this, but what comes in your BarkBox is, some treats to spoil the dog and say, hey, good job. Some chews, take up some time, and some toys. They're all like a daycare for your dog.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Make them happy, make them pumped, and also have maybe a little second to yourself. BarkBox does that every single month. It shows up at your house, and it is incredible for all parties involved. Join now and you get a free extra toy in every single box for a year. That's $60 worth of toys for free.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, sign up your pup and get unique toys and snacks, plus a free extra toy every single month. Tailored toys and treats shipped free every single month. Start now and get $60 in free toys. Unique toys, USA made treats, Canada, free monthly delivery, and $60 in free extra toys when you go to barkbox.com/Pat. That's barkbox.com/Pat. $22 a month. Spoil the hell out of your dog. Good for BarkBox, man.
Hell of a deal.
Good for the dogs, too, by the way. Because we have all these boxes that show up and subscription services, and it's always, for everybody else in the house.
Right.
Normally. And then, when the BarkBox shows up, the dog's like, oh, we're part of this game,
Wait
too.
a minute.
Oh, that person I used to just barks all the way out of the fucking yard, showing up with something good for me every single month. That's good news. Let's get to a phone call here before we get to TY. Let's go to Aaron up there in Delaware. Aaron, what's going on, bub?
Hey, what's up, boss?
Hey, just
so
hanging
I
out,
was
bub.
wondering, with everything going on in Philly and how Carson Wentz started off hot and is now dying off, are more GMs going to wonder about signing their QBs to high-end contracts?
Yeah, you just got to make sure you get it right whenever you sign somebody. Now, you got to remember, when the Carson Wentz decision was made, they had to kick Nick Foles out of town, basically. They sent him to Philadelphia. See you later. Get out of here. Because there was a potential controversy and conversation to be had about who are they going to go with. Are they going to go Carson or Nick Foles? That's literally where we were after the Super Bowl. That conversation was happening. Maybe not in some parts of Philly, but in the rest of the world, it was like, is Nick Foles a guy who has been here before, and then he almost retired, went out into the woods, came back, and he just had the greatest run that he's ever had, most quarterbacks have ever had, into the Super Bowl. He has a statue outside the place now alongside Doug Peterson for Philly. Philly is the universe telling Philadelphia to keep Nick Foles as opposed to Carson Wentz. And the Philadelphia Eagles were like, nope, fucking Nick Foles, see you later. Get him out. You're going to Jacksonville. We'll put a statue up. Okay, we'll remember you later whenever you come back. People will clap for you and all that stuff. But you're going to Jacksonville. We're going to keep Carson Wentz. And then whenever you make that decision, especially because Carson had 2 very unfortunate injuries going into this long signing, you go, okay, is Carson Wentz going to be able to stay healthy? And do we think Carson Wentz is ever going to be able to win a Super Bowl? Because that's what he's going to be judged upon the entire time, because Nick Foles won a Super Bowl for that team. Now they draft a second-round quarterback. Jay Glazer reported that did get into the head of Carson Wentz potentially, even though he won't say it. It's potentially something that is, kind of rubbed his confidence the wrong way. And this week against the New Orleans Saints, who have a great defense, they are starting Jalen Hurts over Carson Wentz. Let the conspiracy fodder begin that was cooking in this office earlier. Diggs, I don't know if it was you, if it was Connor, but somebody said, is Doug Peterson potentially staring down the front office who wants Jalen Hurts to play and staring down the internet and going, you know what, you're fucking right. We'll put him out here against this goddamn Saints defense and see how this goes? Or is this them coming to a conclusion that Carson Wentz this season is just potentially broken? Let's go ahead and give him a break the rest of the time.
Yeah, it was me and the Philadelphia Eagles fan in the office. We were talking about it yesterday, and it started to make more and more sense. Like, if you don't want Jalen Hurts to look good and you want to have a reason to keep the quarterback that you paid all this money, then put him in against potentially one of the best defenses in the NFL. But then also it could just be a coincidence that Carson Wentz his hourglass ran out just at this perfect time for Jalen Hurts to play the Saints. It just depends on how you want to look at it.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a tough defense, though, by the way.
Yeah, very good.
Like everybody talks about the Saints offense, obviously, because Sean Payton is a mastermind and Drew Brees has every NFL record that you could possibly have whenever it comes to quarterbacking and all that shit. And everybody's like, oh, the Saints offense is what you immediately think of. The defense that they've built down there is very good. Fast, very fast, right? So, and they're very physical, and I feel like they all have an edge to them, too. It's like that defense is leading that team just as much as any part of the offense, and that's why they are so dangerous in the NFC, because I think if you look at all the defenses in the NFC, the Saints probably have the best defense in the NFC right now.
Yeah, I think so. And, I mean, look at how Wentz was 6 of 15 for like 57 yards last week. It's like Hurts came in. I mean, granted, there was a punt return for a touchdown, but like he gave them a big spark and kind of got him back in the game. Like, why not just, give him a shot? And if he stinks, whatever.
It's interesting because there is now a conversation happening on social and in Philadelphia what the future is. There was this tweet that they put up that was like, by the way, Sports Radio 94 WIP in Philadelphia just absolutely wanted to start a hilarious war on the internet. It was a picture of Hurts and Wentz, and for Hurts you were to retweet the tweet, and for Carson Wentz you were to like the tweet. The current standings are 6,107 likes for Carson Wentz, 558 retweets for Jalen Hurts. Now I must say that anytime you set this up, you are setting the like up to win because it is a lot less work. It's a lot easier, especially with the new retweet function. So I feel like this particular radio station is also on Carson Wentz's side. And then if you look at the screenshot that we have up on the screen, Fletcher Cox, pretty big name for the Philadelphia Eagles organization and team. He liked it. So that sucks for Jalen Hurts. This is like a Jordan Love situation. Like, he didn't ask to do this, but now he's in the middle of it all. He's going to have to play football. We'll see how it goes. We have to pivot back to the Indianapolis Colts, a team that's going to make a run here in the AFC. A guy who is one of my favorite teammates of all time. This year has not been his biggest year stat-wise, but he came alive this past weekend against the Houston Texans, the most underrated receiver in the NFL. This past weekend, he had 8 receptions, 110 yards, 1 touchdown. Woo. Ladies and gentlemen, T.Y. Hilton.
Yeah.
Woo. What's going on, man?
What's good? How you doing?
I'm good, dude. How are you?
Oh, great, man. I miss you, though.
I know. I miss you, too, man. I was so happy to see you dominate against the Texans. Going into the week, I was looking at the game. We talk a lot of gambling and all that shit here. And I was like, T.Y. is going to have a massive game against Houston. And I started thinking about that. I was like, it's definitely going to happen. And then you go out there and dominate. Was this weekend, I assume, a big relief off of your shoulder, off of your chest, you think, for how the season has gone? Or what do you think about it?
I loved it. I enjoyed it. Just being able to get back to how, I normally dominate games. So, it was a big game, and we needed that performance. So I came out and did what I was able to do.
How do you feel with Phil Rivers? I've heard everybody loves that guy. He's just super competitive. His mic'd up is wild. His mic'd up situations are wild. I don't know how anybody can talk that much and not swear. I'm very impressed with it. But what has it been like? Because you've been around a long time now with the Colts. You are OG of the Colts now, right? You've been around through a couple different generations of the team. What has it been like in the locker room with Phil coming in, and what is the vibe of the team this year?
Oh, the vibe is great. We all love him. We love his competitiveness. He's very hungry, and he brings out a lot in a lot of guys. So, we love having him here. He's doing a great job getting everybody lined up, getting everybody with the calls. And, he's being a team guy, and we love him.
You guys are right in the thick of it in the AFC. What is the messaging from Frank to the team? So we just need to keep winning, get hot at the right time. What is the whole message? What is the mindset? Or is it just like, hey, we need to do today to even worry or consider about down the road?
Just continue getting 1% better each and every day. And, these next 4, are big games. They playoff games, playoff implications. So we just got to bring it. But, nothing is bigger than this next one. They're right behind us, and we're right ahead of them. So we just got to bring it. It's playoff game, playoffs atmosphere. So we just got to go out there and play Colts football.
Did you tell them not to call me to punt? Because they never called me. Did you tell them that? Say, hey, we don't need McAfee punt.
You be the first one I tell them to call.
Rigoberto Sanchez, obviously, T's and P's, everything he's battling through. I didn't even get a phone call, though, T.Y. I thought maybe I'd get a text message like, hey, we know you probably fail for vitamins or whatever, but right now that's not a suspension, so you probably get a couple weeks in if you have to. And then I didn't even get a single call, T.Y. I was pumped about potentially being your teammate again.
Oh man, I would have loved that. They probably thought you were doing WWE though.
I was, yeah, actually. Turns out I was. How's the family?
Our family's doing good, man. Kids getting big. You know, they still dominating, so we're doing good.
We've previously talked to Ty. His kid will go viral every single youth football season because he's got shit. He's like Reggie Bush, Ty out there. He 2.0. He's just shaking the shit out of little white kids in Indiana, and it is just absolutely outrageous out there, man. You're old man now. You doing anything different for the body?
No, just Kyle and Aaron has me on a tremendous game plan. Each and every week, so. It's working, so we're not changing that. We just add a couple of things here and there, but body's great.
What a couple weeks ago you went viral because you said you talked to your grandma and your grandma told you something, and that was a personal conversation. I'd assume I wouldn't want to do that. But what was it like? Because you've always been so dominant, literally always have been. It was since the moment you showed up in Indianapolis, dominant. And your numbers weren't as big as they always have been. And you weren't like a prima donna, though. You weren't out bitching. You weren't out like making noise about it. And I was very thankful for that because I was like, the Ty I know behind closed doors, by the way, has always had success. So then whenever the numbers weren't as big as they normally were, I was like, the Ty I know is just going to take this on the chin and just go ahead, hey, not be this about the team. If we're winning games, it doesn't matter. And you did that, okay? And that never gets talked about it because wide receiver is a position where it's very dependent upon your numbers, on how your life is going to be whenever it talks about money, right? Whenever it comes. So everybody always gets mad at wide receivers for getting pissed off for not getting the ball. It's like, well, you also have to understand there's two sides of this because if they don't get the ball, they're not going to make anywhere near the amount of money that they can. It's a whole different thing. You, for the first time in your entire career, had a little bit of a drop off in your numbers, right? For the first time, which is why I've always said most underrated wide receiver in the NFL. And you handled it like a man. And I think that is something that I was very, very proud of outside of the building. I'm like, Ty is showing people how to do this. And then the grandma conversation came around, and it seems like you're kind of turning. Was it mental, you think? Was it physical? What was it, you think, at the beginning of the season?
I think, just me not being as effective as I was. My mind was kind of, out of it. Me not, just doing what I'm able to do. But I made a commitment to sacrifice to the team. I sacrificed some of my touches, just to help this team. It's a team game. So, I sacrificed that. And I told him, I don't need to touch the ball as many times as I did. As long as I'm out there, I'm effective. They know who I am, so they're gonna double me, they're gonna roll to me. They're gonna pay a lot of attention to me, and it's opened up a lot of guys. So, I'm actually doing my part, but my numbers don't show it. But and then right now it's December football, so I told him, you need a spark, come to me, and that's what we've been doing. It may look like I'm not doing nothing, but I'm actually doing everything I can for my team.
No, the stat sheets might look like it's not doing nothing. People that are watching the game know. You know what I mean? And that is a big deal. Connor, what do you got?
Ty, Michael Pittman Jr. is a rookie wide receiver on the team. How have you kind of mentored him? And also, was there anybody when you first came into the league that helped you kind of learn the ropes of the NFL?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, Marvin did it for Reggie. Reggie did it for me. So it's only right that I keep paying it forward, and I'm doing it for Pitt and the rest of these guys coming up. But
what do you tell them, Ty? What did Reggie tell you? What are some things that Reggie told you as a young player, and then what are you relaying to them? Is it like film study? Is it habits? What is it?
Just studying film, being ready when your numbers call, and just learning the playbook. Because once you learn the playbook, everything else is easy. You're able to play faster and not thinking. So my main thing to them was when your numbers call, make sure you're ready, and also when you're out there, understand, where everybody's at. Don't just learn one position, learn them all so you know where everybody's at on the field and you know what route he's running. So when you run that route, you're able to go out there and play fast.
Are you at the point where you're doing OG mental games with corners? Because whenever I got on team, and when you got on team, Reggie was a little bit older, right? So Reggie maybe wasn't as explosive as he was when he was younger, but there was all these OG tricks. He was late with the hands or something like that, or the way he would set up corners. Are you at that point where you're I don't want to say playing games with people, but you're at the point where you're very comfortable with what you know, and you know that your football IQ is higher than a lot of the people you're going against just because of the amount of experience you've had?
Oh, absolutely. I'm still doing the lay hands. I'm still doing everything I can. I still have my speed. I still have everything. my feet work in and out of routes. So I'm playing games with him. Normally when it's run game, you know, I'm setting up stuff. And so when the pass game come, it look like the run game, and then boom, I got the ball in my hand. So yeah, I'm still working on it.
How old are you now?
Oh, I think I'm 31.
Wow, dude. Man, what a fucking career, dude. Literally. I remember when you came, he was this, I mean, he looked like a little kid when he came into when he came in, and it was like all of a sudden out of nowhere, because the story about you getting drafted, like the behind the scenes, like somebody else, there was a thought that somebody else is going to get drafted, and that person gets taken, and then now somebody's like, there's this guy, T.Y. Hilton, that we need to get. And he's like, boom, bring him in. And then as soon as you got to Indy, it was just like a game, set, match, man. I'm very happy for you, dude. I'm very, very happy for you.
Appreciate it.
Oh, what do you do? What do you got going on? Family's growing, off season, you got houses, you got businesses, just football? What do we got? You doing camps? What do you got going on?
Just football right now, and just looking forward to, if I'm a free agent, looking forward to that. If not, then hopefully I'll be back. If not, we'll go from there.
Oh, this is contract year? I didn't know that.
Yes, sir.
Hey, you're a good man for going over to Deshaun, by the way. What you say to him? Hey, keep your head up or whatever.
I know how you feel. Being in that situation, tough situation. So I just told him, keep your head up, man. Everything's gonna be all right. You're a great player, and that was it.
That was very nice of you, T.Y. Hey, you're a good man, bub. Great football player. Good luck the rest of the way. I hope the team makes a run. Life is better when the Colts are winning for me, so keep it going, brother, and I appreciate you joining us.
Hey, guys, no problem. Thanks for having me.
What do you got today? You got some practice? Got some drills? What are you working on?
I definitely got some practice today.
You think your hands will ever get as good as mine?
Ooh.
You think your hands will ever be as good as mine?
I don't like your hand placement, so.
All right, get him off the camera. What? He's the man. He is the man. Because he could have been like over dramatic about this whole thing. New quarterback comes in, right? He's had a lot of different quarterbacks now at this point. Quarterback changing. New quarterback comes in. He doesn't have his normal numbers. He does his thing. Then without being, coming out and just burying everybody and being like, well, what? Like what he could have said. Because if you do watch the film, right, it is like, okay, it got to a point where T.Y. was young, and then whenever we played the Patriots one year, he was the one that was doubled. Yeah. And that was like a massive compliment from Bill Belichick. Bill Belichick basically was like, to every other team, because every other team watches what the Patriots do against teams whenever you play against a team. They're like, all right, let's see what the Patriots did here. And then when Bill Belichick doubled T.Y., I think that was whenever the entire career changed for T.Y. It was like, all right, I'm now the guy. All right, that's pretty cool for him.
I love that he was like, yeah, the stats might not be there, but they know. They still roll in coverage.
They know, they know T.Y.'s still out there. Which, by the way, you have to have that attitude as a wide receiver. That's why the way he handled not having the numbers all season, I was like very proud of, because very easily could have came out and been like, y'all motherfuckers just need to watch the tape then. And he didn't do that at all. I was very proud of him.
Now that he's available too next year, hopefully Bill Belichick makes the move. Come on, T.Y. Time to come home.
All right. By the way, him in one of those offenses where
just like in motion constantly.
Yeah, because he's very fast too. I mean, and he never gets hit. He has that incredible ability to not get hit. Because whenever he came in the league, he looked like a little kid. He was small and everything. Everybody thought he was going to die. And he has this incredible ability of, not getting hit. And the first couple times he touched the ball, a lot of Colts fans were like, oh, that guy's soft. Like, run that guy over, get the extra yard. He's like, well, I'll be playing for the entire season here. So smart, actually. There's 3 yards here. I get it that it is important. And, hey, I'm lucky to be out here. But also, that's not a shot I should take. I'm just going to go down here. Now, I will get the first down. Like, if we need the first down, I'll get there. But I'm not going on a 2nd and 8, and I got 8 yards. I'm not going for the 11 there just so I can get smashed by somebody, because I would like to have a little bit of durability here and last throughout the thing. And it's smart if you're an undersized guy to have that ability.
Tyreek Hill does it every single time he gets the ball.
There's another very durable guy.
Yeah.
You would not expect Tyreek Hill to be on the field as much as he is. You would expect him to be out a little bit, and he's just unbelievable to watch. Hopefully T.Y. comes back here, though. He's been around a long time.
Go to New England, man.
I was going to say, he looked good in green and gold.
Oh, my God. Listen to this.
Raji slinging him the ball.
Oh, my.
Stay in the league.
Tasty.
We have some breaking news, I believe, by Pat Ford. 40? He was getting hate for something. Oh, he was the mouthpiece of somebody. He he was breaking news, I think, for the Big Ten before anybody else, right? Because he had a direct in with the Big Ten, and then everybody's basically telling him that just because the Big Ten was doing something, everybody else wasn't going to do something. He was like, no, this is how it's going to. Something happened with Pat Forty. I don't have any beef with him ever, but I do remember that something happened on the internet with him and other people. But anyways, he's saying he can confirm reports that Big Ten will change 6-game minimum rule and clear the way for Ohio State to play Northwestern in league title game. That is pending a rubber stamp approval today, but the deal is done.
Wow. Still need the rubber stamp approval.
Yeah, that's just so they can get in a room. So
no one wants to fucking watch Ohio State Northwestern.
No one does.
What do they want to watch? Iowa?
Yeah. Nope. The fucking Hawks and Ohio State.
Keep dreaming.
The bigger conversation around this is not just of Iowa.
No, I know.
Okay, Iowa, who is hot, by the way.
They are hot. 5 in a row.
Incredibly hot, the Hawkeyes. The bigger story here is we knew this was going to happen.
Yeah.
Okay, for these people who are allegedly so goddamn educated with 45 degrees that are presidents of all these things, they have no forethought. We knew this was going to happen. They could have just addressed this at the very beginning of the season. They didn't have to make all these rules that they made. They could have just said, we'll see how it plays out, like everybody else has been doing, because we're in the middle of a worldwide goddamn pandemic. But remember, this is the same group of humans that was smarter than everybody else before everybody else made a decision. This is the same group of people that got protested and looked stupid whenever the ACC was supposed to be on their side and turned against them and everything like that. So they gave in, but only on their own terms, giving 8 games in 8 weeks with zero buffer room for anything to potentially pop off, which was happening in other leagues already while they were making that decision. So that's the bigger story of this, is the people that are handling the situation, whether it's the Big Ten commissioner, Mr. Warren, or the entire presidents that are in that meeting where, remember, they had a vote, then they didn't allegedly have a vote. I mean, this has just been a clusterfuck of embarrassment for those group of people who are supposed to be the most educated humans on earth, who probably look down on a lot of people who have common sense, having zero common sense in the entire situation. We all knew that they would do this if Ohio State got into trouble. Everybody on earth was talking about it because Ohio State is the cream of the crop in the Big Ten alongside Iowa,
Thank you.
Obviously. But it's one of those things where if you don't make the rule, you don't have to go back on your rule, because nobody was asking you to make a rule. Yes. You were the ones who were like, we'll make a rule, and you didn't have to, because we knew this was going to happen. It's just the way it goes.
Well, not only are they going back on the rule, but they're also going back when Wisconsin couldn't play, Nebraska asked to play Chattanooga so that they could still have a game. And they said, no, absolutely not. Everyone agreed to these rules. We're not going to change them. This is how things are going to be done. You can't play a game outside of the conference. And now they're going back and saying, well, since it's Ohio State, I mean, yeah, we're going to change it.
We're probably not going to be in a college football playoff. We didn't think this one through, did we? No, yeah. Remember old Dr. Bumblefuck over here from blah, 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 who knows nothing about anything, said blah, 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 we should do this. And it's like, all right, dude. And then who were they trying to kick out? Nebraska?
Yeah.
They were trying to kick out Nebraska for wanting to play somebody else as well.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, hey, if you want to do that, you should get out of here or whatever. It's like, y'all motherfuckers have no idea what you're doing. How can this is just like NFL teams hiring outside firms to hire coaches and GMs for them. It's like, how are you in the position you're in? By the way, you get a chance to peek behind the curtain in a lot of different businesses. Okay, you'll peek behind the curtain and you'll go, oh, these motherfuckers are dumb. Okay. And then you go, well, that's sad. Well, it's also inspiring. Okay. So the way it's inspiring is know that the people that are in positions of power to make a lot of decisions in most professions are probably much dumber than you. Just know that. Now, granted, they have probably gone to the right places and shook the right hands and all that stuff, but just know that there's a lot of idiots making decisions. So that's why you should always feel inspired to go and do more, because you are smarter than a lot of the people that are in positions to make decisions, and it's very visible whenever you see the decisions that they make kind of play out in the public eye. I would assume the Big Ten commissioner and the Big Ten presidents are jobs that we should all feel very inspired by, that we could potentially get in there and do things a lot better than that.
Yeah,
good for us.
I saw some poor guy on Twitter today. I should have saved it, but he had a ticket of Northwestern to play or to win the Big Ten this year, and a ticket for Indiana to win the Big Ten this year. And he goes, "Can't wait to see how the Big Ten fucks me out of this one." And they did. They let Ohio State in. So now
there's a I don't know if it's a Steve Jobs quote. He's like, basically, the world that we live in was created by people that were no smarter than you or something like that. Okay, I forget how the exact quote goes, but that's basically what it is. As soon as I read that, I was like, Steve, okay. All right,
Hold
dude.
on,
I understand what you're saying. But then once you start like seeing the people that are making decisions in a lot of places, you're like, oh yeah, there's a lot of dumb motherfuckers making decisions out here.
He's right.
And it's very inspiring. And I feel like the Big Ten is a perfect picture of that. Because if you don't make the rule that you have to be in 6 games, which nobody asked them to do, by the way. Nobody asked them to make that rule. You could they could have even said, we're going to have like a college football playoff committee that's going to decide who our best teams are at the end. Get rid of the East and the West, get rid of all of it. Like, we're just going to figure out by the end of the season who deserves it, and we'll put them in the Big Ten. Like, they could have done that, but instead they're like, well, we need rules, we need structure, we need to make definitive decisions, because we're in a world that is very definite to begin with. So this is a good idea.
Well, I'm glad Ohio State, that they're doing this and they're going to get in. I mean, it stinks that, they're breaking Iowa's back in the process. And now, Coach K is trying to take away Iowa's potential national championship in basketball as well. So it's just not a great day to be a Hawk fan.
And why is Krzyzewski still around?
Because his team stinks.
Yeah, but why? I mean, have we not all decided he's done a lot for basketball? Hey,
Oh, yeah.
Mike Krzyzewski, thank you, Coach.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Mike K.
Thanks to Coach K for his contributions to basketball. But he had, 3 of the top 5 draft picks and couldn't fucking win a national title a couple years ago? It's like, all right, are you still that great of a coach? You got a guy that can jump over the entire other team and he can't win the game? Now, granted, I'm not saying that is all it takes, but when was the last time Coach K won?
Jaleel Okafor, 2015, I think.
That's what I'm saying. He's had, the top 5 recruiting classes every single year. This year they stink. Now he wants to cancel the entire thing. Maybe we're at the point where Coach K is just, he's run out. Maybe Coach K is run. I love Coach K. Okay, I enjoyed watching him. Yeah. Never understood how his hair was always pristine the way it was at his age. Never knew how he could act the way he acts at his age and everything like that. But now he's trying to just bury all of college basketball. We should reassess this. I mean, I was all about it whenever I thought we were potentially going to be okay, but we just got our asses kicked numerous times. And that's not good for basketball to have a bad Duke team, is it? Let's go ahead and cancel the whole goddamn thing. It's like, hey, coach, I'm not even a college basketball fan, but I know other people are. Let's not try to take something away from people that they're looking forward to. We're in a world where we need things to look forward to, pal. I don't know if you've looked around at the landscape of Earth right now. There's a lot of looking forward to that needs to happen. And now Coach K is like, I'm potentially part of the reason that built people to look forward to college basketball, but since we're not really going to be in it, let's go ahead and fucking cancel the whole goddamn thing. It's like, Coach K, take it easy, pal. Huh?
Check back in with Coach K in 15 games when, they have a better record. He'll be singing a fucking different tune,
Yeah, when they didn't get ran out of the gym last night. It wasn't even close.
Who, Duke did?
Oh, they stink.
Ever since he yelled at the Cameron Crazies, it's just never been the same.
He's one of us! Let's go to Sal in Arizona. Is this Uncle Sal? What's going on, Sal?
Hey, what's going on, Pat and the boys? How's everybody doing?
Hey, not too shabby. How are you, bub?
I'm doing great. I just wanted to thank you all for an awesome couple of weeks of gambling. I appreciate
Thank you.
you, Gumby, Michael Lombardi. You guys are awesome.
That green son of a bitch.
Flip the B. Flip the B.
Yeah, Gumby's been hot.
Gumby is green hot right now.
Golden green, like pliability hot. Sorry, Uncle Sal. Sorry about that. Go ahead, Bo.
Oh, you're good. Don't worry about it.
What'd you say there?
So I had a couple of questions. One, just wanted to know what you guys thought about the whole Dez Bryant situation, being pulled from the game and then being shown that he's like hugging everybody with the COVID.
Uncle Sal, thank you for that. That is something we wanted to talk about today. How Dez Bryant, I guess he quit, by the way, last night on Twitter. Dez Bryant,
awesome.
I could see how he'd be very pissed off. This is probably a game he was looking forward to mightily. And then in warm-ups, he's told that he has to go test for COVID. Then the test comes back positive. They pull him from the game. And then Jay Glazer's getting asked 45 questions on the Fox pregame show about how is he allowed to warm up and test positive. And Jay's like, they done all the testing. Blah, blah, blah. And they're like, well, here's a photo of him open mouth kissing a former Dallas Cowboy that he's friends with, basically. How is that fair? And Jay's like, I'm not Fauci.
What do you want me to say?
What do you want me to say? I
don't know. What do you want me to say?
It is very interesting how that all played out, though, because there are a lot of photos of Dez Bryant going around dapping up the boys, his friends, I would assume. And then he's out there and they're like, no, nothing happened. He's good. It's like, do we know anything at this point? And is everybody just getting tested during warm-ups, or he drops 2 balls? Go test him, please. How is that even? What are we, 10 months into this thing? We still know nothing.
Nothing.
All right, hour one's wrapping up. Big thanks to T.Y. Hilton for joining us. In the next hour, we'll take some phone calls, talk about all the things going on in the world. The boys will have some incredible takes, and we'll cook up some conspiracy theories on all your favorite sports stories. This morning, Mike McCarthy lied about watching film all last year, and numerous other things we had to talk about. And in the next hour, I'm sure the show will be worse, but we thank you for rocking with us. You have about 6 minutes. Go take a shit. We'll see you on the other side. Too much. They really just inflate it back. Did they just send somebody down there?
I don't know the procedure, but I just know they reinflate it.
Not quite, Pat McAfee. Let's talk. Welcome back, everybody. I'm Dr. Brian Suter, and this is your #1 source for learning about the unique medical side of the world of sports. Someone sent me this clip from the Pat McAfee show the other day where he was talking about how they treat and manage a collapsed lung like Drew Brees had. And no real hate on Pat here. He's not a doctor. He shouldn't know. But they completely misexplained here what they do. And so I'm going to clear it up in this video by reacting here to what he said and fill in the gaps to explain to you guys how they really treat this with Drew Brees' collapsed lung.
Collapsed lung? How many lungs you got? 2?
Yeah, that's it.
So we're off to a good start. Pat McAfee's right here. We have 2 lungs, a right and a left, but within each we have multiple lobes. On the left side, it's pretty easy. We have a left superior lobe, and then we have a left inferior lobe. On the right, a little more complicated, but still pretty easy. We have a right superior lobe, we have a right middle lobe, and then we have a right inferior lobe. So 3 lobes on the right, 2 lobes on the left, still 2 lungs overall.
What's the deal? Everybody talks like, oh, punctured lung, not that big of a deal. Collapsed lung, not that big of a deal. It's like, what happened?
Yeah, usually a collapsed lung is not that big of a deal, but they can develop something called a tension pneumothorax, where that pressure builds up so much in the lung that it can actually push on the blood vessels of the heart, impairing your cardiac output, and can actually be fatal. So typically, yeah, collapsed lungs, while very painful and needing management, aren't always life or death. They can develop into a tension pneumothorax, which actually can be fatal. So they have to be taken very seriously nonetheless.
It's a couple. They work together.
Oh, so he tag team each other? Or
I believe so.
Tag one in, tag one in?
Good point here too. The lungs do work together. There are people who can have a lobectomy, where they essentially remove one of those lobes of the lung, and you can still get enough oxygen perfusion to your blood. So yes, when someone has a collapsed lung, they can still get enough oxygen for kind of vital functions, but you're going to feel very short of breath, and it's going to be super painful.
One picks up the slack.
And when the one collapses, how come do they just send like people go over there and just like take a plunger and like bring it back?
They inflate it.
How's it work? How do the lungs?
All right, so they do not just re-inflate the lung whenever somebody has a collapsed lung, and this is kind of the biggest misconception here from his video.
We went to high school with a kid who had a collapsed lung in a game, and they
also note here, I've had multiple collapsed lungs, so I've kind of been through this in terms of the symptoms and how they treat it, so I have a little bit of experience, unlike a lot of the other sports injuries I talk about.
inflate it, and then you're out for
What?
blow it up like
Send
a
something
balloon.
down like a bed, like a air mattress.
Exactly.
And you got somebody just stepping on it.
Yeah, it was like in Space Jam, right?
And then they check the PSI, and then they puncture it. You know what I mean? Like the thing.
All right, so I know Pat's kind of joking here, probably intentionally, but might not actually understand how we actually treat these. No, you don't go in and re-inflate the lung when the lung collapses. What you do is you suck the air out of the space around the lung, which allows the lung to re-inflate itself. Our lungs are surrounded by this layer of tissue called a visceral pleura, and then there's a parietal pleura that's on the inside of the chest wall. There's a potential space in between those two linings, and that potential space is actually at a negative pressure with normal breathing. When you have a collapsed lung, what's happened is there's air that's escaped the lung or gotten in from the outside of the body that goes into that potential space, and the pressure goes up. As the pressure goes up, that increasing pressure actually pushes the lung inward. So it's not really that the lung collapses, so to speak. It's more so that the lung is getting pushed to collapse because of the pressure in the chest building up from excess air. What they actually do to treat these is, if it's an emergency type of situation, they'll take a needle with an empty syringe and they'll stick that into the chest to allow that pressure to blow out and escape from the chest wall to let the lung reinflate. When somebody puts a chest tube in, it's trying to drain the air from the chest cavity, so you're not putting air back into the lung to pump it back up like an inflatable bed. You're pulling the air that's got into that space out so that the lung can reinflate itself.
They really just inflate it back. Did they just send somebody down there?
I don't know the procedure.
So again, no, they don't send anything down there. They come in from the outside, they put a needle in, they put a tube in. That allows the air to escape, which lowers that pressure and lets the lung reinflate.
This next song is called Tornado by Who Are You?
Ooh.
Oh, shit.
Oh, yeah.
Whoa.
It's coming. Grab your ankles.
Hold on to the cars. Have you ever seen the movie Twister? It's getting a bit windy out
here.
Left
Some
hand,
warm
red.
weather, cold weather meeting
foot,
right
green.
here. There's a problem. There's a problem. It's a tornado. There's a problem. There's a problem. Do we want it? Hell no. This song goes hard. Yeah, the beat goes ham, and it's so fucking breezy. I can't even stand. Gotta go to the basement, away from all the windows. Cause if I'm near them, then I will fucking feel those. The wind is the glass, and the glass will break. How much can the house fucking take? Just a couple months ago, I was standing outside, right next to my beautiful wife, when we heard a fucking train about to come through the trees, and we sprinted to the basement, almost made me fucking pee, cause the breeze was coming. Yeah, I like this one.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, this one's pretty good. That one's pretty good.
The Pat McAfee Show.
There will be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we can talk about.
Speaking his mind
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
while being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Good afternoon, beautiful people. Hour 2 on this Wednesday, December 9th, 2020. Sirius XM Channel 82, Mad Dog Sports Radio. Pat McAfee Show begins right now. Welcome back to the show. First hour, we talked about the Ravens Cowboys. Ravens just beat the hell out of the Cowboys last night. Are the Cowboys completely dead? Zito has a poll on when does the internet believe the Cowboys will be good at football again? The current standings of that poll are what?
Yeah, 10 to 15 years, 5.9%. Then we got 5 to 10 years, 24.7, never, 32.1, and 1 to 4 years, 37.3.
Okay, so it's either 1 to 4 years or never happening is what people are saying. It's either happening here in the next couple of years or it's never going to happen. Over 8,000 votes. Listening to Zito trying to figure out what numbers are lower than the other numbers in this poll.
I tell you, I hate decimals.
Yeah, decimals are tough. It goes to the 10th there. But 37.3% of the people that have been polled, and they all
registered to vote.
And then they
voted.
37% say within the next 1 to 4 years, the Dallas Cowboys will be back. That's a wild percentage. I assumed it'd be a lot lower than that because whenever this poll was put together by Zito, by the way, Zito has the greatest polls on the internet every single day. Shout out to you, Zito.
It's a big poll.
Whenever this one was put together, we thought that a lot of people were going to say never. Because if you think about the Cowboys, it seems like they are never going to be good. It's every year it's a hype. Every year you buy in. This year, I don't think it's as fair to judge them as harshly because it's a new head coach, and Dak Prescott had one of the most gruesome injuries we've seen in some time. So that's obviously going to be difficult. But going into next year, what makes you think that they're going to be good? Like, what have you seen in the football from Dallas Cowboys, in the last 15 years that makes you think the Dallas Cowboys are just going to turn on a switch or flip the switch and turn on the lights all of a sudden? They have some cap space, so they're okay because the cap is inevitably going to go down next year because of the no tickets and fans in the stands, and the revenue is going to go down, which is what the salary cap is based off of. So they'll have room in the salary cap to make some room or to make some moves. But what will the moves be? Is Mike McCarthy going to learn football this year and then in the offseason watch some film and come back and learn how to coach? Like, what are they going to do over there? I just don't see it happening. Gumpy's got something to say. Gumpy, what do you got?
We do have the Andy Dalton revenge game in Cincinnati this weekend.
We need to stop doing this.
Yeah, exactly.
Come on, why would you do that?
Oh, Zito, yeah, you on your high horse. We need to stop ruining redemption and revenge games.
Lost his job on his birthday.
That is true. And Mike McCarthy is his job. And Mike McCarthy is from Pittsburgh, probably doesn't like Cincinnati. So they're probably going to put together an actual game plan this week, which is big news, obviously, for the Dallas Cowboys.
That is going to be a bad football game.
Yeah, very bad football game. There is some bad football happening, by the way. Whenever you turn on some games, there's some bad football. Last night at the beginning, pretty bad football game.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was tough to watch. But Ravens are maybe taking a step in the right direction. Are the Cowboys going to be relevant ever again? I guess 37% say, yeah, they'll be relevant. But this is the Dallas Cowboys. Every single year, it's like, yeah, next year they'll be the team.
Well, and they have cap, right? But it's $33 million. And if they're going to pay Dak, then how much of that is just going to be all for the quarterback?
I assume they're going to try to move some people.
Mm-hmm.
everybody's going to be trying to move people. If the salary cap goes down, who knows if everybody's contract will just go down in proportion to what the salary cap goes down, and then they'll have to retake the money that they owe all the players and maybe spread it over the next couple of years, because I don't know how GMs who put contracts together with an expectation of what the salary cap was going to be should be punished if the salary cap drops because a worldwide pandemic came by and they didn't get any tickets or concessions or anything like that. So the revenue obviously goes down, so the salary cap goes down. So I'll be intrigued to see how they play that out. I would assume it'd have to go down proportional. Whatever percentage of salary cap goes down, every contract will go down in the same exact proportion ratio or whatever each contract will, and then we'll kind of make up for it on the backside because the players are owed that money. It's not their fault that this happened either. So there's going to be a lot of that bullshit going on in the offseason, but you're also going to see a lot of people with big names and big contracts probably get moved, traded, cut, something like that. There's going to be a lot of moves. Like with Carson Wentz, what are they going to do with Carson Wentz? Let's say Jalen Hurts this weekend against a very good New Orleans Saints defense. Very good New Orleans. What if he comes out and plays well and rallies not only the 6,108 people that hit like on that Twitter to pick Carson Wentz over Jalen Hurts and Fletcher Cox, but what if he turns around the Philadelphia Believers? What if they're like, yeah, you know what? This is a guy we can rally behind, just like Nick Foles was when he came in relief of Carson Wentz. What do they do with Carson Wentz? His contract is massive, $60 million or something. Nobody's going to want that. Nobody's going to want that. Albert Breer tweets, so while we're here, the idea that Eagles QB Carson Wentz deal is untradeable is false. What, Albert Breer?
Yeah, it is.
This guy's
If there's
drunk.
a team out there thinking he's salvageable as a franchise QB, okay, so I think a lot of people see Albert Breer. Listen, I like Albert Breer. I think I've never met him. I assume he's a nice guy.
like him.
I'm not 100%. You don't like him? Why don't you like him?
I don't like him.
You don't even know him. Zito doesn't even know him. So the opinions of Zito do not reflect that of his employer. But him saying the idea that Eagles quarterback Carson Wentz deal is untradeable is false. It's like, well, the idea of him being tradable is around how he's played football as well. It's not just the money. Like, if this dude was playing good football, which is what he responds to, if there's a team out there thinking he's salvageable as a franchise QB, it's okay. Well, that's what we're talking about. We think nobody's thinking that, Albert Breer. Like, that's why it seems, and Albert Breer, he's alluding strictly to the numbers, because in 2021, he's owed $25.4 million. 2022, he's owed $22 million. 2023, he's owed $25 million. 2024, he's owed $26 million. Only the $25 million next year is guaranteed. Go to the contract thing though. Isn't there like a $60 million hit or something like that?
Yeah, he's tweeting out the base salaries.
Yeah.
There's also signing bonuses in there he has added those in, but that for Philadelphia it's $60 million in dead cap next year. So like
if they trade or cut, or if they cut him.
So if they trade him, it's $33 million in dead cap. If they release him, it's $60 million in dead cap. If they trade him after June 1st, it's $10 million in dead cap next year, but then it's 25 dead cap in 2022 and 25 in 2021.
Yeah, so this is a very ugly deal for all parties involved.
Yeah.
So I think that is why everybody, with how he's playing, are you just going to pick up a $98.6 million contract? I guess with only $25 million guaranteed to the guy for next year, but I just don't know. It seems tough. Everybody's saying the Colts because of his relationship with Frank Reich. Come on, don't.
Good hunting spots in Indiana too. I know he won't go anywhere if he has to have like a nice, good hunting location. Indiana's got that, so maybe maybe it is something.
He does like hunting, doesn't he?
Yeah,
He's
big time.
Avid hunter.
Oh yeah,
NFL players love hunting, right?
Not all. Like,
this guy though.
That's interesting. You just throw out there NFL players.
I see a lot of NFL players out there hunting.
Yeah, but there's a lot of NFL players that come from out in the middle of nowhere that like just, you know what I mean? So I think you can just say like, hey, people from towns that love hunting. You know what I mean? Like Vinatieri, South Dakota, they did a lot of hunting out there. Like, he loves hunting. I would assume Carson Wentz also comes from a town where
North Dakota, love hunting.
A lot of hunting probably out there. You know what I mean?
I mean, you might as well.
But there are guys, I guess, that get into
More golfers or hunters?
Golfers for sure.
Oh.
Golfers for sure. More golfers.
Hold on one.
Not good golfers, but people that just do the golf. I would assume there's a lot more golfers. But I mean, I'm running through my head there. We did have like avid hunters. Like the hunters are become avid hunters. Like they
promote it a lot.
They love the hunting. The golfers, a lot of guys say they like golf, but a lot of guys stink at it. So, you know what I mean? It's like, well, I'm not going to promote it that much, but I do spend like 5-6 hours away from my family out here.
Oh,
AQ Shipley.
Whoa.
Someone sneezed? Bless you.
Bless you.
Bless you.
Bless you.
Bless you. Yeah,
check
acting
out.
up.
AQ did sign with the Arizona Cardinals, and one of the first things he said was like 60 golf courses out here, bro. You fucking animal. Now he's got 2 kids, though. I don't think he's doing a lot of golfing. kind of takes into that time.
He's got the coaching schedule now, too.
Oh, yeah. I wonder, is he enjoying coaching? Has anybody talked to him?
No.
I haven't talked to him in a few days.
He's watching film.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Coaching schedule is not easy. I wonder if he hates it already.
Probably, if I know him.
Maybe he loves it, though.
Or he's golfing.
Like, he's like, hey, I don't have to run my face into people, and I still get a chance to potentially win a Super Bowl ring. Like, I'm okay with that.
Okay.
We'll see how that goes. Let's get some phone calls, shall we? Let's go to Colin in California. What's going on, Colin? Colin called in from Pal. How's it going?
It's going good, man. Hey, I appreciate you answering me. So last night I'm watching the Ravens Cowboys game. I'm at our local bar. You know, I'm about 5-6 pitchers
California?
deep.
You're not in California.
You're not in Cali.
You're not in California.
Yeah, I am.
No, you're not.
Where?
You're lying.
Oh, he's in that
Bakersfield, California.
It's that other state of California.
We're in like Kern County. So like, our sheriff pretty much said that he ain't enforcing the COVID rules. And we can do whatever.
I'm thinking of this son of a bitch. I'm thinking of this son of a bitch walking in with his boots in front of the whole town saloon. I want to tell you, you guys voted me into this position, and it's my job to say, hey, Newsom, fuck you. Open the saloons up. Open the doors. Move the things.
First
that you
round's
found
on me.
in. Take the lock out. Do what you got to do. Tell your sheriff we appreciate him.
Hell yeah! Sheriff Grady, good guy.
What's the name of your sheriff? Do you know?
Donnie Youngblood.
Donnie Youngblood.
Donnie.
That's a
Sheriff
That's
Youngblood.
fake. That's a fake name, but I'll tell you what, you see that on a sign, vote Youngblood for sheriff. You're not going to not vote for Youngblood, Sheriff Youngblood.
When we retire, I know where I'm moving.
Yeah, you're moving to Sheriff Youngblood's town. This is a one sheriff town. All right, and it's Sheriff Youngblood. And when Sheriff Youngblood lays down the goddamn law, the law talks back.
Hell yeah.
I guess he's not lying. We just looked
Yeah,
up.
he is real.
Sheriff Youngblood out
His
there.
photo, he looks like a good sheriff.
I see a good mustache. I haven't seen him. In my head, though, I see a mustache.
Scar across his face.
I see
He does have a pretty thick mustache.
He does have a mustache.
Okay.
We love Sheriff Donnie Youngblood says
That's my sheriff.
deputies will not enforce stay-at-home orders. Is this America or not? Bang! Oh my God! Shout out to Kern County Sheriff Donnie Youngblood released a video message Tuesday saying that, given the governor's latest reported regional stay-at-home orders, KCSO will not be taking it upon themselves to enforce the orders.
Wow.
All right. Sheriff Donnie Youngblood tells you to go down a bar, have 5-6 pitchers, and watch the Cowboys get blown out by the Ravens. What are your thoughts on that, Colin?
I think that the Ravens are like they still won, but you know that's Steelers division, man.
Oh, are you a Steelers fan over there?
No, I'm a Buffalo Bills fan.
Oh, really? How do you feel about the Bills?
I feel like the Bills are going to go to the Super Bowl this year, and Steelers are going to like win that division, and then like some Tim Tebow style quarterbacks going to end up knocking them out like every other year.
You piece of shit.
It's Josh Allen.
Hey, whoa. Will you please put up the players of the week, by the way, in the NFL? There seems to be a little bit of a common trend for the players of the week, because Josh Allen was one of them. Players of the week, NFC. Packers quarterback Aaron Rodgers. He was on the show.
That's right.
Show today. Defense Giants, Leonard Williams. Congrats to him.
Boy, Lenny.
Washington kicker Dustin Hopkins. Congrats to him. Big kicks on Tuesday or on Monday afternoon. For the AFC, Bills quarterback Josh Allen. He was on the show. Hell of a game. Hell of a game. For the defense, AFC Player of the Week, Dolphins linebacker Calvin. He was on the show. He was on the show. And then special team Patriots, punt returner Gunnar Olszewski. Congrats, he was on the show. We talked about him a lot, though. Seems to be a common trend. You want to win Player of the Week. Congrats to T.Y. Hilton, by the way.
Yeah.
How about you?
AFC Player of the Week. It's about to happen, I assume.
Speaking of Tim Tebow, did you see that Russ Wilson came out and said that he's better at Tim Tebow than baseball, and that's actually his best sport?
So on Part of My Take, right? Russell Wilson was
on
on Part of My Take, which, by the way, I cannot wait to listen to that conversation. If Russell Wilson was on Part of My Take, I cannot wait to hear how Big Cat and PFT did that one. I'm pumped to hear that conversation. Him saying he was better than Tim Tebow at baseball is awesome, because this is what we've been saying all along.
Yep.
Russell Wilson would be starting shortstop for the goddamn Yankees, winning pennants if he wanted to. But instead, he's too busy playing quarterback for the Seattle Seahawks.
hitter.
He might be broken, though, so maybe we will see him in the pinstripes sometime soon and save the Yankees like Steinbrenner family has been waiting for.
Amen. Hell yeah.
Amen.
Hell yeah.
Amen.
Hell yeah.
Way to go, Russell. Go Yanks.
Go Yanks.
Go Yanks.
Go Yanks.
Yankees.
Yankees. Yankees.
Listen.
Let's go Yanks.
I don't. He's 1,000% right. He is better than Tim Tebow. The guy couldn't fucking catch a fly ball. You know, I mean, he's been fucking bumbling around in the minors for the last fucking 4 years. I mean, that's not saying much. And I love Tim Tebow.
Do you?
I do. I love Tim Tebow. Yes, I do. But I mean, yeah, Russell is a better baseball player than Tim Tebow is. I'll give him that. Still like to see him hit a curveball.
He can. He could if he wanted
Can
to.
he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He looks great taking BP when they're fucking grooving 70-mile-an-hour fastballs right down the middle. Let me see a fucking swerve that drops off the table. I want to see how Russ,
Just a quick for those that don't know. Ty is a diehard Yankees fan, okay? And every single spring training, whenever Russell Wilson's out there wearing the pinstripes.
I don't know when the last time he did it was, to be honest.
Yeah, 2 years ago.
Every year.
Yeah, it's every single year, basically, except for the COVID year. Where he might have been out there for the COVID year. Actually. Every single time it happens, this office gets very excited because Ty gets so angry about it every single time. But it has gotten to the point where if you start thinking about how athletic Russell Wilson is, how strong his arm is, seems to be an incredible leader, good dugout guy. Hey, here we go. Clear your eyes. Here we go, boys.
Great.
I feel like he's potentially captain of the Yankees tomorrow if he was to go play baseball. He's probably all-star, Golden Glove, MVP probably. And who's the American Caucasian guy who's our best
Mike Trout.
Mike Trout?
Yeah, see, I don't even know if we even know Mike Trout exists. Not that I do, but I don't even know if Mike Trout's even in the conversation if Russell Wilson chooses to stay with the Yankees every single spring instead of going back in and trying to lead the Seahawks to another Super Bowl, by the way. That's how I feel about Russell Wilson. So him coming out and saying, like, I'm obviously better than Tebow makes me feel good because he thinks probably the same way we think in this entire thing. And Ty, as a diehard Yankees fan, but also a little bit conflicted Russell Wilson fan who both has Russell Wilson starting on his fantasy football team.
He got benched.
Oh, he got benched.
Yeah.
No, he's on your team, though.
He is on my team, yes.
But personally, not a big fan of Russell Wilson.
No.
That's just something that we just love throwing in there and stirring the pot with. Yeah. I mean, it's just perfect.
I mean, give him the number 2 jersey, right?
Get the fuck out of here.
Oh, see, man, sorry. Also, Yankees fan from New York.
Yeah, this
not
guy's a New
thrilled.
Yorker. Don't you dare.
Why not?
Listen, we're just telling you what we see in spring training.
Yeah,
we only get to see a little bit. I've never seen him miss a ball.
Nope.
Have you ever seen him miss a baseball?
He is
Not one
basically
error.
Jeter reincarnated.
I do like Russ saying, like, yeah, I'm a lot better than fucking Tim Tebow at baseball.
Me too.
I do like that a lot.
Me too. I need to listen to that whole interview, by the way, because we've never heard Russell Wilson ever not in a conversation that isn't.
Like, be a human, like a normal human being.
Yeah, I would be intrigued to hear how that goes. Man, fucking Yankee though, dude.
They'd be so good.
Oh, bro.
They finally win the World Series.
They'd call him the Bronx Bomber, Russ Wilson.
Let's see it. I hope he does it.
No, you don't.
I hope he does it. Let's see it.
You would change teams. You would have to change teams. You wouldn't be able to be a Yankees fan anymore.
You'd be a Giants.
Russ Jeter.
I don't know what I'd do.
Let's go to Kevin in Colorado. What's going on, Kevin?
Hey, boys. How's it going?
Just hanging out. How are you?
Doing good.
What do you want to talk about, bub?
Huge biased Hoosier fan calling that's for 2 seconds thought we were going to be in the Big Ten championship.
Yeah.
Want to know for Conspiracy Wednesday if you think if it were any other team, do you think the Big Ten would change their rules? And is it just because the Big Ten wants Ohio State in the Final Four?
Answer, no. If it was any other team, they would not change the rules. Answer, yes. This is strictly because the college football playoff potentially not having a Big Ten representative because Ohio State would be the only team that could do it. That is 100% the reason why. And everybody saw this coming. We put out a tweet of us talking about this earlier, and everybody underneath it was like, shocking. It's like, how can the rest of the world see that it's going to happen, but not the people that are out there making decisions and then having to step on themselves to redo the decisions that they're making, that are paid a lot of money and went to school for all this time to make these decisions. It's obvious that this is because of Ohio State. We all knew it was going to happen potentially to Ohio State. And now that it has, it's like, yeah, you're doing exactly what we all said you guys were going to do. Why couldn't you just do this from jump?
I'm just fucking super pumped about Sports Conspiracy Wednesdays.
Yeah, well, by the way, put the sidebar up. I think it's up there now, is it?
Yeah!
Hey, by the way, that's good. That's really good work there. Zito, good work. Foxy, good work back there. I mean, we got a lot, and we talked about a lot of this stuff, by the way.
Yeah, I forgot check marks.
Yeah, we haven't used it in months. Let's go to Matt in Virginia. What's going on, Matt?
Hey, what's up, boys?
Hey, not too shabby. Just enjoying this Conspiracy Wednesday. What do you want to talk about, pal?
Well, first off, thanks for helping me get through finals week.
Hey, it's the least we could do, man. Honestly, thanks for allowing us to be with you during this incredibly hectic and probably stressful process, if I had to guess.
Always go see.
Wouldn't have it any other way. I've seen you play at FedEx Field, which is a dump. What's your least favorite stadium you played in?
That place was a dump. It's big, though. That place is big. FedEx Field is built like it's a little bit more straight up, so it's very, very large.
Like 92,000 people in there.
100. I think it eclipsed 100. I think they added on there, so it's very large.
Damn.
But we played there. It was I don't know how many times I played there. The one I remember is it just was ridiculously wet. It was a preseason game. Another situation where morning of the game I was being talked to by the quarterback coaches. I might have to go in because one of our backup quarterbacks for a preseason game was either having a baby or something like that. It wasn't going to be able to be there. So I all of a sudden was third stringer in the preseason game. They're like, hey, if you get in, this is what we're going to do. I'm like, I'm not fucking going in there. What are you talking about? We're in a preseason game right now and I have to go out there? Would have been dope if I go out there and sling it around, though.
Yeah.
Imagine if I get
hunch.
Yeah, but if you go out in the fourth quarter of a preseason game, the problem is, the other team probably isn't their best players, but you're playing quarterback, and your team isn't the best players that you guys have either. You know what I mean?
Who's blocking for you?
There's a lot of potential insurance salesmen running routes for you. Okay, there's a lot of potential entrepreneurs very soon to be entrepreneurs blocking for you. There's a lot of that going on. So, but yeah, that place the field was terrible, but I didn't think it was a dump. Like that guy just buried it. I don't think it was a dump. We played in. I got a chance playing Candlestick in San Fran before they moved. That place was a dump. Historic, though.
Yeah, of course.
Historic, but a dump. You have people literally sitting like in a part of the stadium there where they're staring at each other in the fields over here because it was a baseball field, obviously, that had the whole thing. That place was a dump. I think there was only 2 shitters there. Did not have doors on the stalls either. So that place was very interesting.
Europeans.
Very European or just like 1950s-ish. Very, very old. Then Oakland's old place was a dump, but it was awesome, right? So all those places that are considered dumps, though, you're playing in like history.
Good atmosphere.
Like you feel like you're playing in history, you know? So there's like a little bit of a difference, but obviously all these new stadiums are just like state-of-the-art, incredible places, and I haven't gotten a chance to play in a lot of them, but those old places, there's a little something special to them. That Oakland place was incredible, man. They had the Bay Area DJ just only playing Bay songs. It was electric. I mean, and there was obviously marijuana was a very prevalent thing over there, and going in, and I think this was the year they were playing pretty good. You got everybody driving by, flipping you off, like old school. It felt like old school when you went in there. I was like, this place is awesome. Then you get in the locker room, you got about 1.5 feet to yourself, and there's fucking like no air conditioning or heat or whatever it is. It's just a shithole, and you're like, oh, this place is awesome. But you get out on the field, and it's like, oh, you're part of history here. Well,
didn't you play there when Derek Carr was having a great season and he goes like broke and then you hit the spin move?
Yeah. That was a rough night for the Oakland Raiders fans. It wasn't because they stopped me on a fake field goal. It was because Derek Carr was on an MVP run and Trent Cole went to tackle him and somebody spun and his knee got just like, ooh, yeah, sad. They were on a run too. They were about to go. That was Christmas Eve. That was a tough present from Santa.
Any college stadiums that stand out
as shitholes?
Similar to Oakland.
No. I don't think I played in any college stadiums that were just like when we played Cincinnati one time. The lights went out in the middle of the game. That was cool. Just lights completely went off. You hear like the whole thing go off.
That's 30
and
minutes
then you're playing with some of the lights coming on. There's just shadows everywhere. But that's literally the oldest field I think in college football or something like that. The field is the oldest field. It's not like the oldest stadium, but it's the oldest surface in college football or something like that.
That happened to you last year when you were calling a game at East Carolina, I think it was. Remember when the power went out during the game?
Was it East Carolina? Yeah.
I think it was.
Man, that did happen in the middle of
that was a beautiful stadium, too.
Beautiful stadium, but somebody had the timer on the lights that set for a certain time, and they didn't think the game was going to go that long. And the lights just turned off at like 11 o'clock, and everybody was like, wait a minute, what's going on? They had a gymnast squad, like a bunch of gymnasts that were there, and as the lights were coming on, because it was a 20-minute wait, and the game was about over at this point. But we had to finish the game and everything. These gymnasts were doing like triple McTwists on the field. They're sprinting down, doing a full routine, and they're like shooting like, the crowd and everything like that. And I was the only time I ever pressed the button to go back to the people you can like talk back or whatever. Like in that particular world, I was the third person in the booth. There's no reason for me to be talking back. But like as I'm watching this thing and we're live on the air, there's no football game, we're just killing time or whatever. And I'm just watching these motherfuckers do like these triple backflips.
It was the cartwheel stuff too, right?
Yeah. I'm like, can somebody please get a fucking camera on this dude that just did an Olympic 10 out of 10 flip on the field right now? And they were getting the crowd was like dancing and things like that. I'm like, and they're obviously nobody listened to what I had to say or whatever. I'm like, you got to go in there again. Somebody's about to do a fucking quadruple backflip, and they were throwing people around. Yeah, that has happened to me. I've been a part of 2 games that has.
That was for 15 minutes. That was the most electric TV.
Yeah, you started singing right away.
As soon as the lights went off, I started singing. Those Thursday night football games. I wonder why I didn't get the Monday night football job. Let's go to Alex in San Jose. What's going on, Alex?
What's going on?
Yeah, just reminiscing on Conspiracy Wednesday. What do you want to talk about, pal?
I just wanted to get your quick opinion on Jerry Jones's boy, Leighton Vander Esch, unable to fill a hole against the Ravens last night.
Yeah, I saw a couple zigzag situations there. I think he was a hell of a player, right, when he came out?
Yeah, first-round pick.
Yeah, he won Defensive Player of the Year Rookie of the Year over Darius Leonard. And I remember Darius Leonard was not happy about it because Darius Leonard's come in there. But, the interesting thing with the Cowboys is, Sean Lee's always going to be in the picture somewhere, right? He's his absolute stud. Then he somehow inevitably gets hurt because of the way he plays. He just flies around and whatever. Then Van Der Esch coming in there. They got Jalen in there as well. It seems like they have a stacked linebacker court. That's why when you look at the roster and you see all the names, you have these massive names, you're like, this team should be very good. Why do they stink? Why do they continue to either be average or stink? It makes no sense. And everybody wants to bury Jerry Jones all the time, and I understand that. But if you look at the roster, which I think is Jerry's deal, they seem to have a good roster. Now, if it's all a bunch of faux, names with not that great football performances, maybe Jerry Jones is the problem. But unless he has his hands in every single decision that's going on in the culture, in the locker room, which maybe he does, I don't know. But it feels like blaming Jerry for everything is an easy way out, and also something to do because Jerry's always in the forefront of every conversation. But I think the culture, I don't know how you fix that, and I don't know how that's Jerry's fault, unless he is fucking with the locker room and everything like that, which could be happening, I guess.
Isn't Van Der Esch hurt all the time now, too?
They all
those guys, they just can't stay healthy.
Let's go to Jake down there in Orlando. Jake, what's going on, pal?
How you doing, Pat and the boys? Can you guys hear me? Hello?
Yeah. You sound good. Down in Orlando, there's probably a couple of block parties he's walking in and out of. Fox and I saw him last week when we were down there. What's going on, man? What do you want to talk about?
Hey. How's it going, Pat and boys? Lifelong Colts fan, diehard fan of the show. Just wanted to talk to you about the future of the Colts. I'm a huge believer in the fact we're probably going to bring in Sam Darnold or Matt Stafford, and I was just wondering which one you would prefer to have. Obviously, Stafford's better short term. Darnold's better long term, I feel.
You think Darnold's better long term? What makes you think that?
Just younger. I think we'll get more longevity out of him.
Yeah, see, I don't know. I like Stafford a lot. I like Matthew Stafford a lot. Consider me one of the many that think Matthew Stafford, even though he's been on a team that has not been great, is a good football player. Now, I could be wrong. And every other team that loses, you blame the quarterback. You always blame the quarterback. But with the Lions, for some reason, the entire notion is that Matthew Stafford's still a good football player. And I think he's proven it with the way he's played and everything like that, the numbers he's put up. And no offense to Sam Darnold, this is not his fault. Well, it could be his fault, but situations he's in has given him basically no shot to be. But I think Matthew Stafford has proven he's a good quarterback. And Matthew's probably, 33?
32.
32, yeah, he got drafted same year as me. If you can get 4 years out of a guy still, that's long term. I mean, unless you're thinking like, you know what, Sam Darnold we can have for 10 years. We could, but has Sam Darnold done anything that makes you think that he's going to be the quarterback that everybody thinks he is, his potential is? Maybe if you look at certain glimpses of plays and everything like that. But everybody wants Sam Darnold to move on, and I understand that. I would like Sam Darnold to get out from underneath the Adam Gase umbrella as well, because it seems to be a place where a lot of people can flourish whenever they get outside of the Adam Gase umbrella. It's happened a lot in Miami, obviously with Tannehill and everything else. But in my eyes, I think Matthew Stafford has proven he's a good player, and I would love to see Matthew Stafford as an Indianapolis Colt.
I mean, think about how good you have to be at quarterback to be in the league for 10 plus years, never win a playoff game, and never get it blamed on you.
Never. You have to be unbelievable. And he never talks, so it's not like he's out there doing PR spins or anything like that.
He still got it, too. He just threw it for over 400 against the Bears. I mean, Indianapolis, my number one destination to see Matthew come to.
Yeah, it would be awesome strictly for Foxy because you'd be in the same city as Matthew Stafford. And he said, Foxy has said that wherever Matthew goes, he will become a fan of the team. And it'd be nice if it was here in Indy. But yeah, a lot of people think Carson Wentz is coming to Indy strictly because of the Frank Reich move. Darius Butler just said Carson Wentz will be a Colt next year, and he said, "Call me now." The Miss Cleo old school gif, which I can respect or whatever, but I hope not, man. And that's, listen, Carson Wentz probably a good guy. Okay, everybody probably a good guy. That's what they say, but. I'm about done with quarterbacks looking like shit somewhere and then coming here and being like they're going to be the guy. I just don't know.
The Colts are close to being in like win now mode too. They have a good line. They have a good defense. Like why would
That's why you would trade for a quarterback, I guess, instead of potentially.
But that's also why you would get a guy like Stafford instead of like, hey, maybe Sam Darnold within the next 3 years is going to be the guy who I mean, like what you're getting with Stafford.
And by the way, Phil. Okay.
Yes.
Phil might be able to go on a run here. Might now that's all dependent upon the offensive line performing very incredibly. But to win a Super Bowl, your offensive line has to perform incredibly. So I mean, there is a lot of things. But the whole thought is Phil, if he wins or they do well here, he's probably riding off into the sunset. Signed a 1-year deal. Already is the head coach at a school down in Alabama. And I'm not saying I'm not making any decisions for him to not come back next year. But it does feel like the Colts are going to be in the market for a quarterback, and with a very good team, I think it'll be a desirable place for a lot of quarterbacks. And if they bring in Carson Wentz strictly because of Frank Reich, if it works with Phil Rivers, because that's who they brought in because Frank Reich was used to Phillip Rivers or whatever, okay, maybe it makes sense. But Carson Wentz looks broken, dude.
Broken.
He looks broken. He just looks broken down. And not physically, right? I still think he can make every play and everything like that. I just think mentally he's at the point where he doesn't love the game. But maybe you get out of there, you get a fresh start somewhere. Indianapolis would be a place that he would probably enjoy being in.
Don't have to see a statue of your backup every time you walk into the building.
That is wild. That is wild.
Take those broken wings and learn how to fly again.
Yeah,
Give Jacoby a chance, huh? Give him one chance. Give him an offseason with the team.
That is true.
Give him a whole year.
Jacoby was playing great football last year at the beginning of the year, and he didn't even really know that he was going to be a starter at that time. And then he got 2 big men dumped on his leg. He hurt, and he didn't play football the same ever since that. And then he brought in Phil Rivers. He's the backup. We'll have him come in and do rushing touchdowns down by the goal line and everything like that. But you're right. Jacoby is another guy you think, did he ever really get a fair shake at this thing? Probably not. But, hey. That's the NFL. That's business, baby.
That's business, baby.
That's the way it goes. We got to get to a break here. We're 33 minutes into hour 2. We'll get to a break, and on the other side, we'll answer some more phone calls. 1-888-MAD-DOG-6 Conspiracy Wednesday. Enjoy that name. Shout out to Colin in California, I think who gave that nickname, who's in Bakersfield with Sheriff Youngblood.
Yep.
Donnie.
Who plays no fucking games out there.
No, he doesn't.
This is the Pat McAfee Show, Sirius XM, Channel 82, Mad Dog Sports Radio.
This is Remember the Titans.
How's it going? My name is Pat McAfee. I do a lot of things. Today I am a professional analyst getting ready for the Thursday night football opener in beautiful Nippert Stadium with the Cincinnati Bearcats here at Higher Ground. This secluded world. Good squad, good place. Excited for this morning practice. I'm obviously unbiased, but I'm pulling hard for Cincinnati to do well on Thursday night.
I like to say, all in clipboard quarterback. NFL kicker. Let's see what you got. Come on.
This is great for the brand. This guy's an athlete. Athlete.
Hey, let's go. Hey, goodness. They say kickers are athletes. We'll find out. Let's go. Pull it up.
Heads up. Hey, I appreciate that. Thank you so much for the hospitality. Have a great day. Let's go get
Going in, I'ma close the case. I can't wait no more, man. I gotta blow today. I'ma blow today. I ain't hearing what they say. Need a blue face. I've been caring about the race. I've been trying to eat. I need more than just a taste. Now they trying to talk. Oh no, they should know their place. Man, I'm ballin'. This ain't cap, baby. Now I feel like calling. From the O, but I got the music poppin'. All the time, man, it started to get obnoxious. Now I gotta drive down, feeling nauseous. Gotta drive top down, then I hop out. I've been feeling hot now.
Makes me a good point.
Thank you.
I'll catch you up there after.
Yeah, you got it.
Appreciate you coming.
Thank you. This has been so cool to see. Whenever we were driving out here into the sticks, my boys and I from Indianapolis, we were told by Coach Fickle it was a 40-minute drive from where we live. Absolute lie, hour and a half out here. But as we were getting out here, we didn't know what we were going to show up to. And this is such a cool scene here. I remember whenever I was in college, we won a lot of games, beat Cincinnati a couple times. It was a great day. But I remember my boys, right? Like I still am in touch with them every single day, every single week. We had this moment where we went from boys to become men. And you guys were a really young team last year, but got to experience a lot of wins. Like now the expectation level are high. And I can't wait to talk you all up on Thursday night against UCLA. UCLA refused to respond to my tweet. So I am a Bearcat fan on that opening night, and I cannot wait to watch you guys dominate. And I think this is such a cool thing. Coach, I can't thank you enough for your hospitality. I got a bunch of swag from you guys, too. This has been a cool day. Enjoy this, though. This doesn't happen a lot. Even when you get into the NFL, it's not like college. It's not like your boys. It's not like this. It's a whole different world that you'll remember forever, and I was honored to be here to watch you today, and I can't wait to watch you guys go win the thing on Thursday night and then throughout the rest of the season. Thank you.
You're listening to the Pat McAfee Show on Mad Dog Sports Radio.
Hey, sex is cool, but have you ever tried built-in underwear?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Everyone knows that Bird Dogs has incredible shorts, but now they make pants. They stole Lululemon's designer, and now they're just doing it better. Bird Dogs are pants, but they have the underwear already built in. They look exactly like khakis or chinos, but they feel like silky, soft pajamas. There are work pants, our golf pants, our happy hour pants, our sleep pants, our any pants, anything you do. They're all-terrain pants.
Nice.
When you're cheering on the Iowa Hawkeyes, not in the Big Ten championship game, but anything else, and maybe not even in college basketball if Coach K has anything to say about it. When you're sitting on your couch looking at a TV that should have Iowa Hawkeyes playing on it, they are great pants to be wearing doing that. Isn't that right?
That's absolutely right.
They're great whenever you're looking at the television and you're thinking to yourself, how are these Big Ten commissioners and presidents? They're Big Ten commissioners and presidents. They're your pondering pants as well.
Yeah.
You can wear these pants to do absolutely anything alongside the shorts. They are good in any situation, even if you want to go swim. They're good for everything. And right now, whenever you go to birddogs.com and enter promo code McAfee, they'll throw in a free pair of nunchucks.
What?
Yeah, nunchucks.
Wow.
Right here. These are the ones I got.
Oh, nice.
You get a free pair of nunchucks. You get an actual murder weapon with every single order that you make there. Free pair of free nunchucks.
Whoa.
See right there?
Look out, Z.
If somebody was attacking me from that particular angle up there, never would have made it to me.
See you later.
You know what I mean? I should have had this in.
Whoa.
I should have brought these into the war games.
Could have used it.
Probably win if I bring these into war games.
Absolutely.
Go to birddogs.com right now and enter promo code McAfee, and you'll win a weapon that could potentially win you war games one day.
Back out, he has nunchucks.
The comfort of these shorts and pants are magnificent. The fit is fantastic. The material is majestic. And the stretch is beautiful. Find yourself a pair of Bird Dogs and find yourself in a pair of Bird Dogs. Go to birddogs.com, promo code McAfee, and boom, free pair of nunchucks. You will not take these things off, we promise you. They're unbelievable.
They are.
For me, my thighs are so large they're a bit short whenever I wear them, but for me that's okay. Let me go ahead and show off the eye drop there.
Get a good thigh tan.
Got a good thigh tan if you have it. By the way, speaking of my legs, I don't know. This thing on my shin hurts very bad.
Yeah, it's gnarly. With a sword?
Yeah, well, it's actually the ring ropes there.
Whoa.
Yeah, 2 men named Kyle O'Reilly. Well, it might have been Roderick Strong. I forget which one because I was obviously just getting tossed around.
Right.
It's Bobby Fish, I believe, and Roderick Strong. They took me and they threw me into the cage on Sunday night in between the second and the third rope or whatever. And as I hit the cage, turns out my whole body just crumbled. Did not expect that to happen. And my legs just got dragged across the ropes while I was falling down to the ground. This one has a big bruise. It's not as big of a scrape, but this one goes all the way down the front. And it is...
Big bruise, too.
Yeah, this thing is going to bruise up pretty big,
Looks like a surgery scar.
Yeah. So next thing when you go into war games,
Like
by the
Alex Smith.
Okay.
Come on.
When you said that, I didn't think you were thinking about the same. I thought we were potentially going with another reference. I would like to let everybody know that this is nowhere near what Alex Smith went through. Okay, that was a comparison that Nick Moraldo in the back was trying to make. I was not making that. But my shins have been a bit swollen the last couple of days. And if you're going to go into a War Games match, there's a lot of things you think about. Whoever's going in there next, shin guards. Think about some shin guards. Okay. Just something to think about. Just something to think about. If you find yourself in a potential War Games match, put on some shin guards. Just want to let you know that. That's what I'm learning. The back's good, by the way. I was able to do a bodyweight squat this morning.
Nice. How's the neck feel?
Last night was the worst, by the way. Yeah. Last night was the worst I had felt in a long time. My body felt. It's 2 days after, I guess. It felt the absolute worst. Couldn't really move, couldn't really budge. I do not have a fractured
T1, T2 vertebrae.
I do not have that one.
Or the L4, L5.
But this morning I woke up and I was able to move a little bit. Thank God. I could probably move now. I mean, I can.
Whoa!
Nice.
Come on.
Go. Body squat.
It's impressive because I tried to do that this morning and could not.
Well, that's a different reason.
Yeah, I mean, you bought a house though.
That's right. Hey!
Let's get some phone calls here, shall we? Diggs did buy a house this morning, so if you want to tweet him, congratulations.
Congrats, Tom.
He had to sign. It's no less than 150 papers whenever you do that, by the way. Yesterday, Diggs told me about this. I was like, a lot of paperwork or whatever, man. It's going to be miserable. He was like, I thought it was a fun thing. Like, we're celebrating. Like, we bought the house. I'm like, got to sign your name a lot. You got to go in there with, like, you might as well take a fucking stamp in it. That might be the move, by the way.
Can't do it. I asked.
What's that?
I asked. Can't do it.
You can't bring in a stamp?
Cannot.
By the way, Zito bought a house, too.
Zito!
Ty?
Might be selling it soon.
Not yet. I'm looking, though.
It's going to be tough if I know anything about this office. And everybody was looking for houses. Everybody was outbidding each other on different houses.
I'll be okay.
House high.
Wait until Mick gets in the house buying game. You guys are all fucked. Let's go to Robin in New York City. What's going on, Robin?
Hey, Pat. How's it going?
Not too shabby. I mean, not great for my shins, but everything else is okay. What do you want to talk about?
First of all, I just wanted to say congrats on that crazy-ass performance at War Games.
Thank you, man.
Get an applause for my man.
Congratulations. I appreciate that. I appreciate the congratulations, you know? It's like...
yeah, you survived.
That's exactly right. Like we should have won, by the way. Should have won.
Oh, yeah.
If I bring these nunchucks, we probably win. Hindsight's always 50-50. I mean, that's what Cam Newton said at least one time. And whenever you look back on things, you can always correct it. We should have won, but... I'll tell you what, hell of a fucking match out there.
Yeah.
I watched it back, by the way. I didn't want to. I watched it back. I think we put on a fucking hell of a match out there.
Electricity start to finish.
And there was a couple things that happened during the match where I was like, oh, that's why. Because there's like a certain part of my body that just out of nowhere will start hurting. I'm like, what the fuck happened to my lower outside hammy, low upper knee? I'm like, what happened there? I'm like, oh, I forgot about that.
There it is.
My body got slaughtered off a chair. Oh, I completely forgot about that. Yeah. So I appreciate the congratulations. That means a lot. It means more than you could imagine. What do you want to talk about, bub?
I had just one question. What has a better chance of being saved, the New York Jets franchise or AJ's mangled-ass fingers?
Good question.
It's a good question.
Claw. I believe AJ's claws got no shot.
Oh, yeah. They are way past the point of saving.
This thing. Let's go to Noah in Wisconsin. What's going on, Noah? Did you see that thing just go all over? Yeah. We're taking a ride. What's up, Noah?
Hey, Pat. I recently watched your McDonald's disaster Twitter challenge video. And I was wondering if since then you've been able to rekindle your appetite for McDonald's or if you haven't even bothered.
Nah, I eat Arby's all day.
Yep.
Let's go to Rob in the Bay Area. What's going on, Rob? It's all I eat Arby's.
Arby's is great.
Yeah.
I mean, have I had a quarter pounder since then? Yes. If that's what you were asking. Have I had a double quarter pounder since then? No. Also, whenever I looked at the tray, did not know there was double quarter pounders on there, which there was. And I've seen some other people do the challenge, everything like that. There was one competitive eater that did it that was very impressive. All those competitive eaters are so impressive to me. But there was a couple, lames that did it, and they were doing single quarter pounders. There was 3 double quarter pounders that were in there, by the way.
And you took those down just fine.
I did. What was my problem? The fries?
Cold fries didn't help.
Fries, and there were so many nuggets.
Oh, yeah, the nuggets. We forgot about the nuggets.
They were ice cold by the time you got around to them.
I took those down, though, didn't I?
You did, yeah.
Yeah, I
Sweet
took that
tea.
down. The sweet tea. I got sweet tea instead. But I'll tell you what, that puke was explosive. That was the most explosive puke I've had in a long, long time. And I argue, I'd assume if all that was Arby's sandwiches, I'd probably keep that down and walk out and just I'm thankful for it.
Yeah.
What do you want to talk about, Rob?
Man, I just wanted to show appreciation to you guys. You guys are awesome. I rode out with you guys throughout the pandemic. The shelter in place kept my spirits up, kept me feeling good, man. I'm just very thankful that how you guys use your platform. It's so fun. It's so organic. It's so genuine. It's dope, man. And the fact that you guys have Aaron Rodgers Tuesdays, you're able to show Aaron Rodgers' awesome, fucking awesome personality. He's a GOAT. I just think it's awesome, dude. It's a wonderful Wednesday. I'm feeling good. I'm in the Bay. I'm just rolling up some loud. I'm juiced, man.
What do you say? Rob, we appreciate that down by the Bay. I mean, this guy, that's one of the best calls we've ever had. Super nice of you. I mean, now granted, can't have every call like that, okay?
No.
Can't have every call like that. But if every once in a while there's a scratch on the back or pat on the back, we're cool with that. Thank you, Rob. Rob, we're lucky to do it, man. Thanks for tuning in to our dumbasses on a daily basis.
Thank you, Rob.
And up in the Bay, you guys don't even have a team anymore, right? You had a team, and then you guys kicked him out of California. Now he's in Arizona. I mean, he's probably going through some stuff up there. We appreciate you, Rob. What if the San Francisco Santa Clara 49ers are never allowed back? Oh, no. Like, this 3-week thing, what if they extend it in next year, which I assume is probably going to happen, and then who knows if there's any end in sight at this particular time.
Shanahan just says, fuck it, we're not coming back.
Well, and then John Lynch would be like, well, you can say that. But I have to go talk to some people, Jed, I believe, the York family here, and they made quite an investment up here.
Figure it out, John.
Nice stadium.
Go to San Antonio. Sounds the same.
The San Antonio 49ers.
Like it.
What's the difference?
And San Antonio would love a team down there.
Oh, yeah.
Could you imagine not only Elon moves out and goes to Texas, now the San Francisco 49ers move out and go to Texas? Oh, my God. That'd be problematic. People would have to... I'm not getting into it. Let's go to Gage in Ohio. What's going on, Gage? I mean, if everybody leaves, Rogan's out, Elon's out.
What's going on, guys?
Feels like Texas.
Amazon.
The new California.
That's what, is Texas the new California?
San Antonio.
There's an oil rush.
Oh, Texas.
Oh, my God. The Lone Star State, open for business.
Yeah.
Texas.
Here we go.
Wow.
Trademark
Silicon
it.
Valley.
Someone trademark.
Wow, Zito. Sorry, what do you want to talk about, Gage in Ohio?
Hey, what's going on, Pat? What's going on, boys?
Zito just has these moments of greatness right there, and that was one of them. Texas should be putting that
should have trademarked that because that's going to make $1 billion.
Yeah, dump that so nobody can hear that and take that. What do you want to talk about, pal?
Big UC fan here. Go Cats. Wanted to talk about your thoughts on Iowa State making the bump there. A little disrespect towards the Bearcats, in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't like it at all, Gage. I woke up this morning. I did not watch it live last night as I had in previous weeks. I woke up this morning, came in. I said, boys, what happened in the ranking show? We put it on, we watch it. All of a sudden, the Cincinnati Bearcats dropped from 7 to 8 after doing nothing wrong. And the Iowa State Cyclones make the jump up to 7 because they want some Big 12 representative, I would assume, in the top of the conversation piece. So at 1, you have Alabama, 2, Notre Dame, 3, Clemson, 4, Ohio State, who the rules are being changed in the Big 10 to make sure that Ohio State can still keep that spot by competing in the Big 10 championship game without having 6 games because the Michigan game against Ohio State has been canceled and other games against Ohio State have been canceled because the way the Big 10 set up the Big 10 schedule in the middle of a goddamn pandemic was one of the dumbest things we've ever seen from the beginning all the way to the end. So those are the top 4. Then at 5, 5, Texas A&M, who beat number 6, Florida. Then number 7, Iowa State, who has lost. They are not undefeated, is ranked ahead of Cincinnati. And Breece Hall, I believe, is the running back for Iowa State. He is an incredible football player. I enjoy that coach. What's his name?
Matt Campbell.
Matt Campbell is a good guy. And I like that the Big 12 has some representation up there. As a guy who went to West Virginia, who's down to Big 12, even though when I was in school, we were in the Big East alongside Cincinnati. So maybe I have a little bit of a allegiance to Cincy, you know what I mean? But the Cincinnati team, and this was always going to be the conversation. And that's why I pitched it very early. Whenever I was doing College Game Day at the beginning of the season, I pitched very early as Cincinnati being in my college football playoff. Because I thought the conversation of Cincinnati being in the top 4 would have to happen very early if they ever had a chance. In the year 2020, at that point, whenever we said that, we didn't know what the Big Ten was going to do. We didn't know what the ACC was going to do. We didn't even know if we'd make it to this point of the season. So whenever I said Cincinnati, I believed it. I thought they were a team, but also just wanted that conversation to happen because if it happened in 2020, it'd be a cool thing if a Power 6 school got into the Power 5 tournament. And, you know, UCF in years past was the team that was banging that drum, and they still call themselves the national champions of one particular year whenever they went undefeated. But no offense to that UCF team. Okay, I thought you guys had a hell of a run. You were a good squad. I think the Cincinnati team has the athletes, okay, to warrant the conversation of them being in the top 5 of all of college football. I think they have enough of the Power 5 type players on their roster that have been together now for like 3 years, okay? This isn't just like they've been good for 1 year. They were good last year. They were good the year before that. Cincinnati has a veteran group that is very athletic and has Desmond Ridder, who's a great football player. So I think Cincinnati getting left out of this whole thing strictly because they're not in a Power 5 conference, which is exactly what's happening, I think personally is bullshit because of the athletes that they have. In the secondary, they go one-on-one with guys. They lock guys down. They have the athletes in the back end to keep up with, I think. Maybe not be able to keep up with Alabama, but nobody's been able to keep up with Alabama's speed skill positions. I just think Cincinnati's getting fucked here because they're in the American Conference as opposed to one of the Power 5 conferences. But the fact that they're at number 8, I assume the state of Cincinnati and Fickle are kind of pumped about.
The fact that Iowa State, a 2-loss team, is ahead of Cincinnati is just disrespectful.
It really is
disrespectful.
And by the way, I think Cincinnati would beat the fuck out of Iowa State.
They lost to Louisiana Lafayette and a not very good Oklahoma State team.
I think they'd be able to stop Breece. They got 4 seniors, I think, on the defensive line at Cincinnati. Okay, I think somebody's gonna have to fact check that, but they have seen maybe 2 seniors and whatever. Their D line is good though, and they have athletes in the secondary. Like I think Cincinnati fans in Cincinnati football should be much louder about being in the conversation this year as opposed to any other year with all these things going on. Ohio State's going to play 5 games this year and get in there. Yeah. They're like 11 or 10-0 or 11-0 or something at this point. It's like there should be a conversation to be had, but we all know it doesn't matter because once college football playoff starts, that conversation's over. All right, thanks for bitching for a couple months or whatever, but now we're going to move on. It's just the way it goes. In the college football playoff can say it's for everybody, but we know it's not. We know it's not.
Well, and every year it's the same thing too. It's like, oh, look at that. Look at those top 8. If it was 8 teams, how awesome would this college football playoff be?
Yeah, but then now you got a lot of people with a lot of degrees that are much smarter than all of us that would have to make a decision quickly and act like it's okay, and that's never going to happen. But I'm not happy about the Bearcats moving down. I'm not happy about it at all. I don't like it. Not happy about it. At number 9, you got Georgia, Miami at 10, Oklahoma at 11, Indiana at 12. I think they're kind of getting screwed here. Coastal Carolina at 13. Hey, congrats to the Shants. Let's go. Northwestern, who'll be taking on Ohio State in the Big Ten Championship. USC, Iowa, right there at number 16. Not too bad. Hey, nice, top 16 school.
Nice. Yeah, the hottest team in the nation. I mean,
I don't know if they're hotter than Alabama
or the Shants.
Hottest team in the Big Ten. But if they would have played Iowa State earlier this year, they would have beat them as well. So we wouldn't even be having this conversation.
Let's go to Kevin over there in Pittsburgh. What's going on, Kevin?
Hey, Pat, I just want to let you know I'm sick and tired of the Steelers getting bent over by the NFL this year. And I think it's time that they go ahead and create their own bye week the rest of the season, except, of course, whenever we play the Bengals, because that's an easy win.
Smart, Kevin. Steelers should take a stand and say, hey, we're not playing this weekend, actually, we decided. Which, by the way, would be a wildcat strike. Mm-hmm. Ooh. Okay, and if they did that, Kevin, I understand where your head's at. And the Steelers, they're kind of been, short end of the stick all season, right? They get the early bye week, what they didn't ask for. They have to do back-to-back game, 3 games, 12-day, blah, 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 all that stuff. They're probably going to have to play on holidays. I mean, there is a lot of things that are going against the Steelers when it comes to scheduling. But Mike Tomlin said it clear as day. We do not care, and they can't care because of that. But if they were to sit out a game and say we'd want a bye week, it'd be a wildcat strike. Nobody get paid to potentially tear up the entire CBA. The NFL is almost ruined. So it can't happen. Kevin.
Yep.
And we learned about a wildcat strike last week.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But now that we know it, we know it.
What else say, Kevin? Is, hey, let's keep that negativity in the past, pal. We are moved on. We are past complaining about the NFL.
Well, he's saying we're on to Cincinnati. Is what he said.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
It's
after
a couple weeks away.
Who you guys play this weekend?
Bills.
Oh
that's
shit!
gonna be a tough
2-game slide potential.
At Dildo Stadium.
Oh
no.
It's gonna be cold. It's gonna be cold up there.
Cold up there.
Damian Woody has tweeted that people on here have no clue what the Bengals were before Marvin Lewis got there. How the Bengals had bare bones of a scouting department. Coaches acted as scouts too. No indoor facility. I can keep going. Listen, we agree. Damian Woody's right. 3-horse race in the AFC North right now. Ravens are hot. Browns are hot. Steelers just suffered their first loss. Who will make it out of the AFC North? Nobody knows. Will the Buffalo Bills ruin this Steelers season by making them have 2 losses in 5 days? Or will the Steelers be able to bounce back and get a win over AFC Offensive Player of the Week, Josh Allen? On the other side, we have Delaney Walker joining us, former tight end for the Titans. Also, A.J. Hawk joining us. More phone calls. We'll break down tomorrow night's game with the Patriots and the Rams. It's a good one. And also chat about whatever the hell else is going on in the world. This is the Pat McAfee Show, Sirius XM, Channel 82 Mad Dog Sports Radio. You get about 6 minutes. Go ahead and take a shit. Well, hello, sensual piano keys. You sound incredibly inspirational and motivational. Big announcement coming from our company. You know, throughout my entire life, I've made decisions that people have said, ooh, that is stupid. You've read about them, you heard about them. When I was in high school, I went to an underground poker game, won $1,400, flew myself down to Miami, won a kicking contest, and got a scholarship to West Virginia the next day. I turned my back on soccer that day. Everybody said, you're an idiot. Why are you doing that? You have more schools looking at you for soccer than you do for football. What are you thinking? Fast forward 8 years with the Indianapolis Colts, and I was on top of the world, top of the mountain. How's the view? Not too shabby. And when I was at the top of my game, I decided, you know what? I'm going to pursue some other stuff. My friends and I are going to go to work on the internet. We're going to try to chase fulfillment as opposed to just a paycheck. And there were some interesting responses from people of power in the sporting world.
Make them tear the uniform off of you.
Sure.
Look, somebody needs to stage an intervention. People who know this guy, get to him now. Make him put his helmet back on and get to camp.
Oh no, there's no intervention, Wilbon. No. Here we are 3 years after that date, and it's a celebration, bitches! Cut the music! Let's hand out some bags to the boys. For the boys. For the boys. Oh, by the way, that's for you, brother.
Oh my God.
Are you home? All right, come out the front door.
What's up, dude?
What's this?
Oh, you son of a bitch.
What the fuck? Fuck you. Oh, yeah, that is the bag of money.
FanDuel deal went through. There's $50,000 in there for you. Here's a backpack with $50,000 in it. Oh, $50,000 in there.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so there's $50,000 in there. Yeah, so there's $50,000.
Are you fucking serious?
Let's go.
Rubber bag?
Oh man. Let's go, dude.
Let's go. I appreciate you, buddy.
Yo, this is...
Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you, dude. We did it. Couldn't have done it without you. Oh,
Dude, it's a fuck ton of money.
You guys.
When I asked Dan Patrick for some advice, he told me always take care of the boys.
Well, and you should know those people that are there with you, that their value cannot be overstated and should not be overstated.
So, Mike Wilbon, they didn't hold my jersey on me. They didn't hold my helmet on me. We didn't have an intervention. What we have is a celebration. Because when you bet on yourself, sometimes you hit for big. And for us, the only place we'll bet for the next couple years in an exclusive deal, FanDuel backed the Brinks truck up to our office, and we have never been more thankful, more excited, and more together as we promote the greatest sports book on planet Earth.
Yeah. Look, I just wanna make a living, I just wanna do it right. I'm just trying to take what isn't given past the oversight. I'm just trying to make a killing, didn't happen overnight. They talk about my name so much, they start to get over. I gotta ask you, what's your motivation? Are you driven, are you bold? Can you turn this into something on your own? I gotta ask you, what's your motivation? Is it riches, is it gold? Is it something you can find within your soul? I gotta ask you, what's your motivation? Is it music, is it love? Maybe not, or maybe all of the above. I gotta ask you, what's your motivation? Is it faith in the beloved? Is it something you don't plan on giving up? So tell me, what's the drive you got within you, where your mind is often sent you? When you're broken down about to drown, it's hard to push continue. I can tell you mine is easy when it's packed inside a venue. When I gotta give my all, you know I'm ballin' just like Kemptu, cause I'm super like them Sonic Slam a beat they call.
The Pat McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we could talk about.
Speaking his mind.
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
While being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Good afternoon, beautiful people. Hour 3 on this Wednesday, December 9th, 2020 begins immediately after this incredible beat drop by a gentleman named Twine. A lot to talk about today. Obviously, Dallas Cowboys got shellacked last night by the Baltimore Ravens. Joining us now is a man who picked the Dallas Cowboys to be the representatives of the NFC in the Super Bowl this year. Ladies and gentlemen, AJ Hawk. Had to do it.
Hey, I'm okay with it. I made that pick. I put it out there. So yeah, Dak got hurt. Unfortunately, they got some things to work out before next season. But hey, let's regroup and have a good 2021.
Okay, that's what everybody's thinking. By the way, Zito's poll today was: at what point in the future do you think the Dallas Cowboys will be good again? I think at some point they'll be good again. That's just how it works. At some point, somebody will come along and they'll win. The poll has over 10,000. How many? Where's it sitting at right now, Zito?
It's over 10,000 votes and at 5.9%, 10 to 15 years to get back. And then we got 5 to 10 years, 24.3, never, 33.4, and 1 to 4 years, 36.4%.
Okay, so if we can we put we can't put the graphic up because we have 2 FaceTimes right now. That's kind of tough, whatever. But the entire thing, it's either 1 to 4 years or never. That's how everybody feels about the Dallas Cowboys. And I think that is what the Dallas Cowboys are, by the way. They're a polarizing group. If you love them, you love them, and you're going to love to hate them, even if you're in the whole thing, you're just going to sit through it. And then on the other side, it's like, never. This is the same Cowboys team. It's always overhyped. Now, granted, this year they're out without their franchise quarterback, literally and figuratively, in Dak Prescott. It's just a very interesting thing because we, in the first hour, started dissecting this situation, and the roster seems to be good, right? If you look at the names on the roster, it seems like they're good football players, all right? It just, for whatever reason, they can't win a game. And Mike McCarthy goes in there, and it somehow gets worse, it feels like. Everything get worse. And we went through this entire conversation live on the air. We didn't talk about it much off the air. We think Mike McCarthy set up that entire documentary that Tom Pelissero made as like a set, basically, to make him think that he's been watching film in his basement and every day we're still acting like we're a head coach and we're going through film. We think he rigged that entire thing for Tom Pelissero to do that documentary. And then he goes to Jerry Jones and he said, I told Jerry I watch every single snap of the Dallas Cowboys, but that's because I wanted the job. We think there's a chance that Mike McCarthy finessed the Cowboys in the entire NFL so much into believing that he was dialed in with the game so much into a head coaching gig. And now maybe this year he's trying to learn football again. I'll have Kellen Moore call the plays. I'll kind of watch this whole thing. And maybe next year Mike McCarthy, after watching football for the first time, maybe they are off and running. But this seems to be a disaster all the way through and through over there.
I mean, that's a very creative idea you guys came up with of him staging this whole thing. I guess, so if he did that, which I'm not saying he did, I don't think it was like that. It's a pretty good investment, isn't it, for your future and for your family? Like, hey, I already have the barn. I got like a basketball. He's got a full basketball court out there. Got the office. Just have the guys come out, set me up some monitors, bring all my old playbooks out here, and bring my my buddies. And we can talk football. And if I can bring out Pelissero, right?
Yeah, we'll call Pelissero in here. He'll get the goddamn cameras. We'll go on a dry erase board. We'll do some X's and O's, a triangle. Let's fill up that trash can so it looks like we're around all the time. And then we're fucking off and running. Yeah, we can tell them we've been doing this every goddamn day. We bring our living room couches in here. I mean, it feels like this is potentially a big hustle by McCarthy. It worked, though. He got a job. Yeah. And hopefully the Cowboys will be able to turn around under him. But that looked bad last night. Joining us now is a man who has played in the NFL for 14 years. Tight end for the Titans and the 49ers. Obviously, three-time Pro Bowler. He's currently a free agent. Ladies and gentlemen, a man who I always enjoyed playing football whenever we played against him as the Indianapolis Colts, Delaney Walker. Yeah! What's going on, dude?
I'm good. How you?
Hey, quick question, Delaney. I don't think we've ever really had a full conversation, but I always wanted to ask you this. Why did you always fight somebody on our team every single time we played? What happened out there?
I don't know. You know what? It's something about the Colts. I just get fired up. And you guys always bring that pressure, and it brings the toughness out of me. And I think it gets the team going every time I get in a fight with one of you guys. So I try to do it every once in a while.
That's a great thing to bring a team together. I agree with you. I think it's great when that happens. But I want to go back to one of your old coaches in Harbaugh. He's at Michigan right now. They're talking he might make the jump back to the NFL. How does he compare to all other coaches you've had from growing up until now? Like, how is he comparable? Like, what's it like? I don't know.
I'm going to have to say he's a breed of his own. Man, Jim, he brought something different to the team when I was there with San Francisco. Just his attitude, the way he went about the game, the way he treated players, it was all different. The guy literally dressed up in a full uniform and practice as the quarterback, second string quarterback, the whole practice. I've never seen a coach do that before. That's dedication.
How'd he do? Is the scout team running pretty well?
He's terrible, but he
The thought of your head coach, by the way, unstrap and take the helmet off, grabbing a bottle of water, putting the whole thing back in there. Was this just like a Wednesday, a Thursday, middle of the season, needed some juice? Why did he do this?
I think it was the middle of the season. Alex Smith had got hurt. Our second string quarterback was hurt. So I don't think they wanted to bring somebody in. So Jim Harbaugh said, look, I could play quarterback. You know, he was pretty good when he had it in his primes. He didn't show up to meetings or anything. So we like, where's the head coach? They're like, something happened. He'll be here for practice. We like, that's where Jim Harbaugh never misses meetings. We go outside. We see somebody with some Apex. Do y'all remember Apex cleats? That man had the high top joints on that cover his full cap. So that's got to be Jim Harbaugh.
Oh my God! I wish I was there for the team walking out. Who's the motherfucker over there? Is that our head coach over there? Oh my God! Oh, thank you for that, Delaney. Man, it's great to have you on the show, dude. That was awesome. I am. So right here it says free agent tight end. Would you, if you were playing this year, do you think going into the season? Now, granted, let's say it was the first couple weeks. Would you sign with a team right now? Have you worked out with any teams? Or are you like kind of out on the COVID protocol? Let's just get this next year. I'll just train for that. What is the mindset as a free agent tight end this year?
Right now, honestly, I'm going to be honest with you, and glad you asked that question. I had a lot of injuries I was dealing with last year, especially the ankle, the knee. And I looked at it as COVID, right? It's COVID. I didn't know what was going to happen with the protocol in the NFL, just watching the NBA. So I looked at this as a good year to let my body heal, try to get healthy, and then come back next year and go from there. So that's the only reason why everybody's like, where you been? Why you not signing with no teams? I've been telling teams I'm chilling. I'm taking this time off, letting my body heal, and they know what I can do. I'll come back next year strong, faster, and healthier. So that's the plan.
That's what I'm talking about.
Let's go! So what does it look like day to day for you? Are you still working out like you're in the league?
Man, I just got done working. I got my towel still. I'm serious. Like I can say, I got a towel. I just literally put this shirt on. We just got done busting down. I got a full gym downstairs, steam room, cold tub, sauna. We just got done busting down. I came up here. I'm still sweating. I literally just ran up here to do the interview. So I try to work out every day. I'm eating healthy. I'm literally staying in shape. If I had to, if I really wanted to, I can probably go sign with a team right now and compete. But at the end of the day, like I said, I'm just trying to let my body heal. And especially what happened with Dez Bryant last night, I'm not trying to go through all that. So I'll wait till next year.
Warming up for a game. Okay, warming up for a game. Already do your entire, like, hey, good to see you. How you doing? Hey, my guy, maybe athletic trainer that's been with the Cowboys for a long time that you grow very tight with, by the way. Hey, Dez, how's it going? Great to see you back. Can't wait to see you play tonight. Well, we shouldn't have never let you go. Yeah, thank you, man. Very close interaction. Then when you're done, hey, go take a COVID test. Oh, by the way, quickest COVID test of all time. You failed. Get the fuck out of the building. I don't know how that, has that been happening the entire season? Does anybody, like, has that been happening the entire season? Like warm-up tests, do you know?
I don't know. That's the thing. Like, when I seen that, I'm like, so they testing dudes 15 minutes before the game?
Yeah.
How is that possible?
Yeah, I don't know. Who, whenever you're playing tight end, because the tight end position has changed. 14 years ago, or 15 years ago now, I guess if you count this season, when you come into the NFL, a lot more blocking, I'd assume, huh? You're going to block a little bit more. And then as it kind of evolved as like one of the pivotal offensive threats over the last few years as the game kind of opened up, did that change the way you play, or did that give you a chance to play a style that you've always wanted to play in the NFL and it just kind of opened up for you?
You know, coming out of college, I was a receiver, and then going to San Francisco, they moved me to tight end. So going into the league that first few years and all that blocking, I hated it. I'm like, man, I got to block these big old dudes. I'm 230. So I did not like that. But as the league started to evolve and tight ends started becoming more of a role player as a receiver and at the end, just do your job, get in their way. That's how it started. The conversation started. Like, as a tight end, when you block it, just get in their way. The running back can make you right. And we just want you to be able to catch the ball, see what you can do when you got the ball in your hand. And that helped. I think that helped our game a lot as tight ends. It's also helping our payday. And I look forward to seeing what these younger dudes do and how much money they can get in this league. Because like you said, it's evolving every day. Look at Kels.
Hey, Kelsey's unbelievable. Kittle is as well, obviously, but Kelsey's on a team that's winning like on a very regular basis, and he's a go-to. The position is becoming the look-at position. Like, you need to have this position if you're going to be good going forward. And for you, saying you're in the best shape you've been in a long time, hey, we got another 5 years out, out there balling, huh?
Yeah, most definitely. You know, like, we'll see what happens. I'm excited to come back. I actually been itching to be on the field. You know, I've been watching the Titans and you know, I got a special heart for them guys over there. So I've been watching them every week, and every time, you know, the game don't go their way, I'm like, man, I'm ready to suit up and go out here and play. So I'm itching, and I'm ready to get back out there. But like I said, I want my body to heal up because just them last 2 years, not playing one game and then only playing 5 games, that's not me. And so I want to make sure I'm 100%. I can go out there and give it all I can.
Hey, what's the culture like there with Vrabel in Tennessee? And you guys, there's so many personalities on that team. We've had Taylor Lewan on here before. Like, what's it like day to day there? Is it all? It can't be all fun and games. We know Vrabel pretty well. Like, what is he cultivated there?
It's hard work, man. Hard work. If you ain't giving all you got to the team, he gonna treat you like you not. And Vrabel is real, man. And that's what I like about Vrabel. He tells you what he feels, what's on his mind. And at the end of the day, he gonna let you have some free time, but most of the time we working. We on the grind. He's trying to change that culture and becoming a winning team. And you see it coming. It's coming. So I believe what he got going on there is gonna work. And I wish I was still able to be there and be a part of that. But again, it's a business, and I understand. But everything that he brought to that table, I brought into, and I think he's gonna turn the Titans around.
Delaney, you mentioned blocking and how big of a pain in the ass it can be. How awesome was it to be blocking for a defensive end last year, though, when he got hot and really carried you guys to the playoffs?
For who? Derek?
Yeah, the defensive end is what he was saying because how large he is. He's a massive human. Yeah, that's what he was saying. Yeah,
he's bigger than me. It's funny. I'm blocking for the guy that's bigger than me, but it's good to block with Derek because, like I said, if you get in the guy's way, Derek is so fast you can't tell because he's so big, but he gets through that hole so fast, and the arm tackle is not going to bring him down. So it made my job easy. I love blocking for Derek. Derek makes a tight end look great, and that's what he's supposed to do. He's supposed to make me look good, just like I'm supposed to make him look good. But like I said, he made all our blocks easy. He sets them up, and he gives you that ability to pancake them. Because if they stick a hand out, they ain't taking them down. That's my opportunity to pancake them.
Oh, pancake hunting! You're out there pancake hunting. I like that. Get a good stat on the on film as well. What do you do off the field, Delaney? Aside from just working out and steam rooming and cold tubbing and getting after it, what do you do? Do you play video games? What is that?
This is the Florida Power Boat Club, man. I'm out here on these power boats doing poker runs and stuff like that. So I don't play a lot of video games. Most of the time I watch Cops.
That's why you're sweating.
I love that show. I can't help it.
Hold on, what is a power boat? Can I learn what is a power boat? Is this like a pontoon you're out there just driving around? What is a power boat?
I mean, you can have a pontoon. I mean, you need twin engines if you want to keep up with us. But these are like outer cigarettes.
Those ones that flip, those ones that go like the ones that go, the planes that go.
Yeah, them are MTIs. So MTIs and Limited, they get up. They flat bottoms kind of, so they can get up on plane and flip over. Mine's is a V bottom, so it's V. It goes down in the water. It doesn't flip as easy as So that's a cigarette right there. That's the 1080 right there. That's Stu. He's the president of the Florida Power Boat Club right there.
You're into fucking power boats? How did this become? Was this like so let me guess, you went on a vacation somewhere, or maybe you went down somewhere, got on one of these boats, awesome experience, you're like, all right, I need one of these. And then or is this something you've always dreamt of doing? How do you get into power boating?
Well, first I started off with a Nautique, a G25. That's a ski boat where we wake surf. So I started wake surfing, and then wake surfing just got boring. When you get real good at it, you're just sitting on the back of the boat. Now I'm like, I want to go fast. So I said, it's time to go get a 36 Baja. So first I got a 36 Baja, twin 520s on it. And that boat can do about 80 miles per hour. And once we started redlining that to 80 miles per hour, I was like, you know what? It's time to sell that boat and go get a 50 outer limit with twin 1350s. So now we're doing 145 on the water.
Hold on. So you just do that for fun? You're just like, I just got to work out in what do I want to do? Fucking 150 miles an hour on a goddamn boat.
Shirt off, glasses on, we go full speed.
Yeah, just head up like that.
Yeah, you up here. You got to kind of keep your head down low, because if you go back, you're going to feel all that wind.
I've seen that in documentaries of all the people running drugs from Colombia up there. There's a lot of those boats out there in that whole thing. Jesus Christ.
It was used for, man. That's what they used, the Donzies.
So, lady, when you guys started making your run last year, A lot of it was because Tannehill replaced Mariota and was playing incredible. What was the difference between Mariota and Tannehill? Tannehill coming in, was he just ready to prove hey, Adam Gase was the worst coach ever. I got fucked. Give me a real team. Let me show you what I can do.
I mean, I always tell people, y'all act like y'all don't remember Tannehill was just a starter, an elite starter in Miami doing this. He just didn't have the cast around him. So I feel like, when he got to the Titans and, Marcus wasn't having a good year, he started off not having a good year, I feel like Tannehill really didn't have nothing to lose. He went out there and was like, look, I don't have nothing to lose. This is my opportunity. I'm about to try to take it. And he went out there and he was a gunslinger. He was slinging that ball left and right. Wasn't worried about making mistakes, and it worked out for him. He took it as far as he could with him, Derek, AJ, Corey. I mean, we had a cast of guys that just showed up at the late in the season once Tannehill took over, and that's what we needed.
I remember the conversation earlier was will Marcus have some packages, right? That was that kind of, and then that as the success continued to happen, those kind of disappeared. Marcus signs with the Raiders. We haven't really heard anything. And that's no, this is Tannehill's team now. That's an interesting string of events because normally it's not that clean of an operation. Normally there's some drama or something like that, but winning cures all, I guess.
Well, you know what, man? Like I told you, Rabel was a great coach, and he just kept it real with the team. We had a meeting. He said, look, we trying to win. This is what's happening. We're going to make a change. I hope everybody buy into it because this is a team thing. We're not doing it to be selfish. We love Marcus, but we need to win games. And everybody's seeing that as, yeah, we're doing it for the team. If he can get the dubs, then we're going to take them. You know what I mean? I had the same situation in San Francisco with Alex Smith and Kaepernick. It happened the same way. If the quarterback getting the dub as a team, you got to buy into that.
Yeah, what was it like going through that situation where Alex Smith got knocked out? I know he was out an extended period of time with the concussion. And believe me, I think you knocked us out of the playoffs 7 times with Kaepernick when you were in San Francisco and Green Bay. It seemed like every year
Delaney
we figured it out.
Delaney was fighting us, knocking you guys out of the thing. This guy's a problem, dude. He's on a goddamn boat going 130 miles an hour in between it. It's unbelievable.
What was that like, seeing that transition?
Well, with that transition, it was a little different because Alex wasn't playing bad. He got hurt. He got knocked out of the game. He missed one game, but Kaepernick came in that week and just went nuts. I couldn't even tell you what he took, what happened. He just went nuts. And then, man, Jim Harbaugh, he wanted to win games too. It wasn't nothing about Alex not performing at a great level. It was just look, we're going to try this right now. And some of the old linemen, they rock with Alex really, really hard. They kind of didn't accept it right away. But as Kaepernick kept winning games, everybody just started buying into it. Look, this is what's going to happen. Kaepernick is the guy. And then everybody started buying into it at that situation. But it took a couple of weeks.
Hey, those types of situations are happening in a couple different places right now. It happened in Miami with Fitzmagic after winning a couple games going into a bye. We're going to put 2 in there. And Fitzmagic had that press conference where he was incredibly transparent and honest. It was like, well, this is heartbreaking. I didn't expect this or whatever. And you're like, oh, my God, is the team going to crumble? Because if they haven't, by the way, they've been able to continue to play good football, and 2 is very good. And right now in Philadelphia, there's a situation with Carson Wentz and Jalen Hurts, and Fletcher Cox liked the tweet. He might have done it accidentally, but it has stirred the pot that he liked the tweet that said, like this tweet for Carson Wentz, retweet it for Jalen Hurts, which classic Twitter setup. It's easier to like something than it is to retweet something. So the like is always going to win. So the radio show here set this thing up. Fletcher Cox liked it. As long as Jalen Hurts wins, nobody's going to care. But if he doesn't, then it's a big conversation,
Very true. That's just how it goes. You got to give that guy the opportunity. If he win games, he got to play. If he doesn't, then, you got to go back to what you know. But a lot of teams, they don't want to split up the locker room. They feel like they got a guy. They don't want to mess with it. They feel like he's going to get his groove back. But sometimes you got to mess with it. I think it's something when you put a crickle in the rope, it changes things. And hopefully, they figure it out soon because I got a lot of Philly fans, man. They going bad right now on Philly.
A lot of people are turning on Philly. A lot of people turning on Philly. By the way, Philly fans will turn on Philly. Yeah. That is something that they will do. Delaney, we appreciate you, man. Good luck with this season of getting the body and mind back right. Good luck with your knot tying with your boat club down there. Good luck with everything, dude. We appreciate your time.
Well, thank you guys for having me, man. Anytime, man. I'll come back on here. Y'all guys were great.
Is it a wheel on the boat, or is it like, what is it? Is it you have a steering wheel? Yeah.
It's a steering wheel. So you got like 4 throttles on this side. You got 2 little ones that put it in gear, and then you got a big one to give it power to get it to go fast. And then you got your steering wheel. So you sitting there, you just holding the steering wheel and you playing with the gears.
What's the brakes? You just have to cut that thing off. What is that? What it is?
The brakes is to go reverse.
What's that one? There's a video on the internet of.
Do not slam it in reverse. You want to kind of ease it down, and then when you get a little, you can kind of put it in reverse just to stop it. That's it. But there's no brakes. So you know this is a 50-foot boat, so you kind of got to calculate how much time you need to slow it down.
Yeah, because when the train gets a chugging, you know what I mean. It is going to be tough to bring her. What's that video? There's like a late.
The family.
Ding, dead. All of them just absolutely dead.
He was, so what he was doing, he was going too fast, and he tried to turn in a wake, and it shook that boat, and they all hit the pavement. I'm surprised no one died. That was that was crazy.
Hey, listen, we need you not do that either. So be safe. Can't wait to see you back in the league, ladies and gentlemen. Pro Bowler Delaney Walker. Yeah! Thank you, man. Fucking Power Boat Club, dude. Bro, he had the shirt on.
Yeah. He's about it. Twin engines. He knew every boat model for the last
throwing
10 years.
random pictures. Yeah, that's the guy.
That's his boat.
That was his boat.
His new boat. I just put it in the chat right now. But it looks like RoboCop's like motorcycle.
Is it available to?
I just sent it over the chat right now.
I have not seen it, but man, granted, it was awesome talking about all those situations in football and stuff like that. But I mean, it's not often you get to talk to one of these humans that's on the internet videos you see all the time. That end terribly. A power boater, man, that was awesome. That was incredible, AJ.
Yeah, I don't know if there's anything that I am like as educated about as he is to power boats. Like knowing the models the second you put them up, like there's nothing that I know that in depth.
It was awesome.
Yeah,
that was absolutely awesome.
140 miles an hour.
Hey, you got to feel alive, I bet, though, when you're out there.
Yeah, you get hit by that wind, you might fly off.
When we have him back, I want to ask him, like, so where do you go? Like, what do you do?
Where are we headed?
In the middle of the ocean.
Bro, he's at the Bahamas, 4 or 5 minutes?
Yeah.
He's down there. I mean, he is. Because those boats, I believe, and I might be wrong here, I believe it was used to shuttle things, right? That's what it was used. Because on the water, there's only so many cops or whatever. So if you, and by the way, if they have the boat, if the cops have a boat and you have a boat and your engine is bigger than theirs, with the way the ocean's set up, you can get away. Like you can act like in streets when you're trying to run away from cops. You can't outrun the radio or whatever. You know what I mean? You can't do that. But in the water, there is enough room to go ahead and do what you got to do. So they start taking advantage of that. Every documentary you see, they take it. That's his right there.
Yeah,
the new one.
Wow. Oh
it's RoboCop's motorcycle.
145 miles an hour.
It shows off the engines too. It's outrageous.
This is on his Instagram at Delaney Walker 82. By the way,
it's like 5 Hemis.
Looks like the fucking Batmobile.
Bro, by the way, he shows up at these poker runs and things like that. He talked about these power boat clubs. He comes in there, and everybody's like, "That guy's got the fucking triple quadruple turbo. That thing shoots a goddamn bridge with water when it goes underneath it." That is unbelievable. Good for Delaney Walker, man. I'm happy he found something he absolutely loves. Like, he had the shirt on. He was going to go do that right now. He was awesome. I hope we get a chance to talk to him again, AJ. We got to get to a break. It is 2:27 Eastern Standard Time. On the other side of the break, we'll take some phone calls. We'll talk a little bit more about this Ravens-Cowboys game last night because we haven't gotten AJ's entire take on it. And then we'll kind of move on and see what the hell else is going on in the world. The Big Ten is changing rules for Ohio State, which we all knew was going to happen if this potential situation occurred. They're doing it now. Why didn't anybody have any forethought in those conversations? They all have degrees. How come nobody can think with any common sense? That's a question a lot of people are asking. But Ohio State's probably going to get in the college football playoff, which is good for college football, by the way, because they are an incredible team. But now the way to get there is obviously one that is going to be, building conspiracy fodder as you go. A lot of Indiana fans are saying if this was IU and they beat Ohio State just a week ago, or 2 weeks ago, they lost by 7 or whatever. If they win that game, you think the Big Ten's doing this at all for Indiana? No.
Not a chance.
You think they're doing this for Iowa?
Not a chance.
You think they're doing this for any other team other than Ohio State?
No.
Nope.
You know why? Ohio State makes more money than all y'all motherfuckers. Ohio State wins more games than all y'all motherfuckers. Ohio State can do that. But the thing is, we all saw this coming. Why didn't they just prepare for it accordingly and saying, we'll deal with everything as it go? We'll talk about that on the other side. This is the Pat McAfee Show, Wednesday, December 9th, 2020. Let me tell you a little story about these statistics. Troy Polamalu, okay? Fucking Troy Polamalu. So we had a fake for the Pittsburgh Steelers that was a 100%er. We didn't even have a cancel the goddamn play because it was a 100%er. If we ever end up in this situation, inside the 7-yard line on the left hash, it is a 100%er that the C gap will be wide open and we will just part the C to the left. It'll be a touchdown. 100%er. We're playing in Pittsburgh, the city I grew up in. I grew up in Pittsburgh. I won the punt, pass, and kick national championship, AJ. National championship, AJ.
Congrats.
AJ, did you ever win the national championship, punt, pass, and kick?
I think I got 3rd or 4th out of 4 at the Nationals.
I'm proud of you, man. Anyways, so we're there in that stadium, okay? A lot of McAfee's in there. A lot of McAfee's in Pittsburgh. I'm going to score my first fucking touchdown, night game, Sunday Night Football, I believe it was, right here, touchdown. We get into that situation, and I'm like, holy fuck, this is really going to happen. We're like on the 6 on the left hash. It's 4th and goal now. Field goal team's jogging on. I'm like, well, fuck, it's about to, I'm ready. I am ready for this to happen. So I get out there. I get down. Vinny's like happy for me. Vinny's like very excited. He's like, let's fucking go. Like Vinny's excited for me at this moment. I'm like, here we go. So I make the call. I forget what it was. So I start saying it, right? And everybody's looking at me like, okay, bright eyes. Here we go. Let's get after it. Offensive linemen are dead ass tired. They do not want to be in the middle of a field goal anyways. So they're just like, all right, I don't give a fuck if you die here, but this should work. Let's get some points. And all of a sudden, I go through my cadence, I call it, I get down, and Troy Polamalu's fucking ass goes ahead for however long his career was at this point. I think it was like 9 years or 8 years at this point. Not a once has he ever gone to this side of the field over here to the left and stood right in the C gap. Never. He lined up exactly where he had lined in film 100% of the time. And then as soon as I got to like the second cadence right before set, he just bounced his little ass right over to the C gap. And I like stopped everything I was doing and I literally just looked at him. And I gave him like what the fuck are you doing, man? Like, why are you there right now? And then I stood up and said, we are kicking it. We have to kick it. We are kicking this. And then I get down, and Vinatieri kicks it, and I jog off the field, and Chuck Pagano comes running up next to me. He's like, hey, good job. What you see? I said, what did I see? Polamalu just fucking went right into the goddamn C gap. What did I see? What did I see? And he goes, okay, sounds good. Good call then. Good call then. And then Vinatieri's like, hey, way to go, buddy. I'm like, way to go? Are we not going to talk about how big of a fucking asshole Troy Polamalu is for what just happened right there? So that's.
I saw the angel of death waiting for me in the C gap.
It's unbelievable. What, you thought I was going to run him over? No way. He's probably going to strip me and score a touchdown the other fucking. That's Polamalu, bro. That ain't just your backyard football with your son. These are professional fucking athletes. He'd probably jump over the lineman, pick me up, and run me into the other fucking end zone if he wanted to. That's what he would have done.
The hard-hitting safety of his generation, too. I mean, Ed Reed, great cover safety. I don't know that you would have feared him, but
Ed Reed, I would have feared Ed Reed. Yeah, if I saw Ed Reed in that C gap, absolutely. E.D. Reed, boy, the best safety you ever seen, boy. I ain't doing shit to Ed Reed.
No, Ed Reed would have made the tackle. I'm saying that Polamalu would have shaved years off your life.
Oh, my God.
You do not talk about
Pat McAfee.
Do not talk about
Pat McAfee.
One fight at a time, fellas.
The Pat McAfee Show.
That's right.
Ooh. Ooh. Oh, yeah. We have one Spanish-speaking person who works here and one Spanish-hearing person who works here.
Dámelo, baby. Oye, Pat, soy yo, Bad Bunny.
I know, that was Bad Bunny I heard at the end there. Is that the worst commercial of all time?
It's not
No, no, papi. I said playa.
Oh,
Playa, no playa. It's playa.
Good for Bad Bunny, by the way.
Yeah.
Doing well.
Good for Bad Bunny. He absolutely crushed it. AJ, Baltimore Ravens pass for 107 yards, run for 294 yards against the Dallas Cowboys yesterday. Get a big win by 17. They cover the 8.5, 9, wherever you end up getting it at. And this Cowboys defense is atrocious, has been. The offense seems to be lost. Our guy, Andy Dalton, who was supposed to come on the show one time but had to back out at the last second or whatever. A good guy. I still think he's a good guy or whatever. Good guy. That team looks completely lost. Do you think this is good for the Ravens, though? You think the Ravens are potentially coming out of this feeling a lot better about themselves?
I don't know if they should. I mean, they got to feel good about getting a win. It's always good to win no matter who you're playing in the NFL. They always have good players. That doesn't mean they're a great team. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, the Ravens, they should feel pretty good about it. But also, I'd be scared at the same time that I'm a bit one-dimensional offensively heading into the most important part of the season.
Yeah, it does feel like a lot of missed passes last night by Lamar. There was a lot of running, obviously, success. J.K. Dobbins, they said he put on some weight and he take some more hits, I guess, or something like that. But will the Baltimore Ravens be able to win any games that matter, or are they one of those teams that will get there but just has no chance of making it? It does feel like that at the moment. Never would have thought that, by the way, after Lamar Jackson's breakout year last year where he was the MVP and the talk of every single conversation. This offseason, we saw him juke a jet ski on a beach. Remember that? And they were up in there and running. But now it's like, are they going to have to get a new offensive coordinator? Will they have to change some things up, kind of put some freshness back in there? I believe Lamar's contract's probably up either next year or the year after that. It's next year probably. His contract's probably up rather
his third
soon.
year. Yeah.
And he becomes the first player in NFL history with 5,000 pass yards and 2,500 rush yards in the first 3 seasons or whatever. So he's got 2 more years on there because it's 5 years. He's a first-round draft pick, right? Yep. But Lamar Jackson, what are they going to do to take him to that next level? Will that team be able to continue to climb? They get a big win, but that's still a big question, I think, out there on everybody's mind.
Yeah, it is. Like everyone always wonders, okay, if you can shut down the run, is Lamar good enough throwing the ball to beat you? Like in the playoffs, can he do it? And he's definitely shown glimpses of that. He hasn't consistently put it together, but I mean, I know opposing defenses obviously aren't excited to play this guy. Like you can maybe think, hey, he's not going to throw for 350 on us probably, but we have to be aware at all times because there's so many plays he extends and pulls down and breaks your back, getting third down conversions and all the misdirection. It causes like the defense to be so confused. I don't know if you watched the Dallas defense last night. There's multiple times they're chasing the ball carrier, they're chasing Lamar when they don't have the ball. Like they can't figure out and see even who has it yet.
The interesting thing there is whenever they show highlights of Lamar, I think it's all highlights from last year.
There's not a lot this year.
You know what I mean? It's a very different, like he outran Jalen to the corner there and got around him. But last year, it was every single week he was doing something that made somebody look like a junior varsity athlete. And it was on the NFL. This year, there hasn't been as many. What is the reason? Is it Yonda? Is it everything? He said people, or is it defensive coordinators are just like, all right, you got us 1 year. Now you're going to have to do a little bit more if you want to continue to get us. And maybe this year will be a wake-up call, or maybe they get hot and just continue to win. Let's go to Caleb in Vancouver, Washington. What's going on, Caleb?
How's it going, Pat? How's it going, boys?
Hey, not too shabby. What do you want to talk about, bub?
Well, first off, I'm an indie wrestler here in the Pacific Northwest, mostly wrestle in Portland, and I watched that War Games match, and I wanted to ask, what was it like just to step into that structure and be in the same match that the Four Horsemen were in and so many other greats? I mean, you guys put on a great show.
Well, thank you, Caleb, and I appreciate the fact that you're putting on indie shows. I used to go to a lot of those whenever they would come to town, whether it was in Morgantown, whenever I was at college, or here in Indianapolis. So I appreciate you for making very little money, grinding your ass off, getting your ass beat for the entertainment of groups of people in various spots. I appreciate what you did. But yeah, there was a real moment after the match where, for people that maybe weren't diehard wrestling fans growing up or anything like that, wouldn't really understand this, but I was in the locker room and a couple of the guys I was in the match with, and maybe even a ref or two, we kind of looked at each other and we just main evented a steel cage match for the WWE. And it was like one of those moments that was like, this is the fucking dumbest life of all time. Like it was one of those moments where if you were to tell 12-year-old me or 13-year-old me, you'd be doing this at some point. It was a really cool thing. So I appreciate your call, Caleb. But yeah, that conversation did happen in the locker room afterwards where it was just like just fucking main evented a pay-per-view. And it was a steel cage match that has a lot of history. Oh, and by the way, I also probably won't be able to walk tomorrow. So it was good. It was a lot of fun. I appreciate that. Let's go to Daniel in Arizona. What's going on, Daniel?
Hey, Pat. Great show you and the boys put on. For Conspiracy Wednesday. My conspiracy is, being a lifelong Cardinals fan, Kyler Murray. On his social media, he doesn't have anything to do with the Cardinals as his profile photo. I mean, even you have the on your profile photo. So my conspiracy is, does he even like playing for football as well as does he even like playing for the Cardinals?
Great question, Daniel. Now, my photo has the Colts a part of it because that is actually an inside joke between me and my followers about how I got fined by the Colts for the photo that I actually have there. So I don't want to say that's in tribute of the Indianapolis Colts. It's almost like the opposite.
Jest.
Kind of. Yeah, it's kind of in jest. Yeah. Satirical profile photo. Now, granted, I have a lot of love for the Indianapolis Colts. I'm very thankful for everything Jim Irsay did for me and all that in my time there. But that photo that I have up there is not for, shout out to the Colts. It's an inside joke between myself. But you're right. Kyler has the Oklahoma uniform on as a football player and the Athletics uniform on as a baseball player. Very, very interesting. I didn't even think about that. If I was a Cardinals fan, maybe I would be a bit intrigued by this. Like, hey, only one of the teams paid you. Now, granted, we don't know what Oklahoma gave you to get you to go there and all that stuff. That's conversation. But he is Arizona Cardinals, and I don't think he's that active on social media. I might be wrong, so I don't think we should look into it that much. But I think what we should look into is he seems like a player who's either got it or he doesn't, depending on the day. I don't know how we figure out and get him more consistent. Is it him? Is it Cliff? Is it the offense? Is it the NFL? What is it? I think that's what I would be worried about more so than his profile photo. That's pretty dope, but does lack any Arizona Cardinal representation.
Well, has it always been this way, or did he used to have Arizona Cardinals on there and he changed? Like, that's when I would think there's something to it. But if he never had any Cardinals, any pictures of that on there, I'm like, all right. He seems like a pretty unique dude too, though. Like, he seems very quiet. Like, I know Cliff has even talked about how he has to pull words out of him. Now, he's very vocal on the field. I think he does a great job of that, of commanding the huddle. But he seems to be really kind of like an introvert and just wants to hang out and not really be out there too much.
And by the way, you're going to be a weird dude if you're one of the only people in the history of anything to be drafted in the top 10 in both NFL and the MLB. Like, there's not a lot of humans that have done that. I would assume he's going to be an interesting guy. That's just, I don't know. I would assume you have to sacrifice some potential coolness to be great at that many things.
Yeah.
I would assume there's a potential drawback. And he had that interview with Dan Patrick, you remember? Super Bowl week before he got drafted. Mm-hmm. It went bad and everything like that, but I don't know. You look at him; he looks like he never even knows what's going on. Like but then he'll go out, and by not know what's going on, I'm not talking about confused. I'm just talking about the moment. Like it seems like he's always just very calm, which is a good thing to have, very cool thing to have. But then some days he balls, some days he doesn't. It's like, all right, we got to get to the point where he's balling every week. But that goes to the question: is it the system? Is it offense? Is it Cliff? Because those two are coming up together in the NFL. Is he not figured out NFL defenses? And some NFL defenses are better for him to go against, and maybe he'll continue to grow because he is incredibly talented. I mean, he is an incredibly gifted athlete. But will he go play baseball at some point?
Arizona Diamondbacks, give him a call.
Well, I think Athletics, right? Yeah. It's literally in his profile.
He's not allowed to switch teams because he got drafted by them?
Yeah, well, that's like Pat White got drafted 5 times, I think.
Yeah.
Because everybody wanted they thought he was potentially not going to go to the NFL, and they wanted his rights whenever he eventually came out. He went and tried that for a little bit, did a little minor league baseball. I don't know if he enjoyed it or not, but he did that.
Is Kyler falling into the Jared Goff scenario where Michael Lombardi says you got to wait to live bet the Rams just to see who is showing up?
Jared Goff is the best live betting quarterback you can have. If for the first 2-3 series it looks like Goff is feeling it, he's happy to be there where he's at, things are going well, they're going. It doesn't matter what it is, they're going. If he's a little bit distraught, it's probably go the other way. Mm-hmm. Like, for instance, will the Patriots be able to get to Jared Goff tomorrow night? If they can, I think Patriots win this game. If they can't get to Jared Goff on a consistent basis, I think the Rams win by 2 scores.
Does having your best defensive line game in the game before help at all? Is that any
AJ,
momentum?
do you think that? They did well against the Chargers, but the Chargers were also told by their head coach days before that game that they had nothing to play for.
Place is burning down.
So, I mean,
wait, are you talking about the Patriots D-line tomorrow? Is that what you're saying? Can they show up again?
Yeah.
I mean, maybe. I don't think they're going to have as big an impact as they did when they blew them out 45-0. I think it's an uphill battle for the Patriots to beat the Rams.
I think so, too. I like the Rams by 2 scores. I don't know what the spread is. I do.
5.5 right now, I think.
I don't think they can get – I don't think they can get to Goff. Now, 2 scores is insane because Belichick's coaching, so I should go down. I think they'll cover then. 2 scores is
nice.
I think they will cover just because I don't see them getting to Goff. I mean, I'll watch some more film tonight down in the cave.
Fair.
I'll come back tomorrow with a much more prepared statement. But my early read on that game is they're not going to be able to get to Goff. And if you can't get to Goff, McVay's offense, no matter who he's playing against, will win.
Yeah.
But if you can get to Goff, all of that is off the table. Now you got to just hope that the defense can hold a shutout to the other team.
Yeah, because if they had the players, we saw what happened 2 years ago. They scored, 9 points in the Super Bowl?
Got to feel like Belichick
3
can
points,
draw
sorry, 3
something
points.
out.
Yeah, well, Belichick, that's what I'm saying. That's the 2 scores thing. I completely forgot that Belichick's coaching that goddamn team.
And the way that, like Tony just mentioned that last Super Bowl, the way he was able to kind of out-coach McVay.
Yeah, but he got Goff, right? Then wasn't he getting to Goff? I feel like there was some pressure on Goff.
The defense was much, much better than
you had our guy on that goddamn rallying the goddamn troops who was asking if that's it. Ian in Pittsburgh, what's going on?
Pat, boys, how you doing today?
Pal, not too shabby. How are you?
Good. I just want to say, first of all, you and the boys deserve a key to fucking Pittsburgh for taking over the internet. We're proud of you here.
To get a key in Pittsburgh, you got to know the right Italians. I do. I'm not sure we do.
Or you got to be Billy Gardell.
Hey, Billy Gardell deserves that.
Anyways,
I agree.
Who's Billy Gardell?
Oh,
anyways,
Did we get smacked in the mouth?
Sorry, Ian.
Sorry. Just wanted to say, you've had Naheem Hines on the show. You've had Chase Claypool on the show, and afterwards these guys have breakout games. Why don't you give old Cuzzy Big Ben a call and give him the old McAfee bump there?
I wonder if Big Ben will ever come on the show. I was at one point blocked by Ben for something. I never, who knows what it was. And then whenever it came out that Ben was sharing his testimony to the world about how he found his Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, that got leaked on the internet. And not me, but this show decided to go ahead and take some jabs at my man. I mean, I feel like there's a chance we could not get Big Ben on here strictly because of the actions of others in this room. But if we could talk to Ben, I mean, I'm sure that'd be a pretty good conversation.
I think it'd be amazing. Unfortunately, someone on the internet, there's a chance that they would make like a compilation video of times when the boys would explain what has happened over the last couple of years with Ben, and it might keep him from being like really receptive to coming on.
Yeah.
Well, if the guy's going to be sensitive about wailing on his own baloney, then we have no shot of getting him. If he, takes it as a joke, then who knows? We might land him.
It's not our fault. We didn't leak anything about Big Ben.
You're right. We just reacted to news that was leaked that shouldn't have been leaked, by the way.
Right. Which is what I mean.
Our original stance was that video should have never been recorded and leaked.
Yes.
Him talking about his love and changing his life for his religion. He probably thought he was in a safe space amongst the religious folk that he was in the Zoom call with. Turns out that all got leaked the next day, and there was no way that the boys were just going to let that fly.
No,
not a chance.
We had to talk about him murdering his baloney.
You guys were not going to just let it, come and go. There's no chance you're going to do it. Let's go to Jesus in Daytona. Jesus in Daytona. What's going on, pal?
Hey, what's going on, guys? Good to be on the show again. I called in last week about the whole Kirk Herbstreit incident, getting called out and everything. You kind of mentioned it again today, so I've changed my comment and question today. First off, I want to say T's and P's to all the players for Michigan. I also want to say sorry to Ty for Iowa kind of getting screwed out there and then changing the rules. But the main thing is with what Harbaugh's done now and actually doing what Herbstreit kind of called him out for, does that make Michigan kind of look weak? I mean, come on. Just because you don't have all of your key players, you can still go out and play. You might get embarrassed, but at least try. Don't.
Jesus, I don't know if this is making Michigan look weak. What are they? 0-5 right now, right? Or 0-4? What
They
are they?
won against Minnesota week 1,
yeah.
and that was it.
Oh, Minnesota.
Oh, no, Rutgers in overtime, too.
What a fall from grace.
Yeah.
Minnesota.
Yikes.
What happened out there?
Snake oil ran off.
No, that is not.
Come on.
This guy.
That's slander.
This fucking show. We're not going to be able to have anybody on as a guest. We're not going to be able to have anybody on as a guest anymore. Now, granted, there was a chance that the man you are talking about there was going to come on the show at some point. That got changed around. But that Minnesota team, game day was there for their last game because there was a chance the Big Ten championship was around the corner for them. They were ranked top 10, I think, top 5 maybe at one point. and they didn't win this year. It's just like Ohio State's a standard. Everybody else is trying to catch up, and if your biggest rival is Ohio State, that's a tough place to be. So, I mean, that's just a tough spot to be. I guess we have not gotten any reports of what happened in Michigan, why this game was canceled, but Herbstreit getting buried for what he said last week and then inevitably kind of happening is kind of bullshit, and I think that's what Jesus was trying to say.
Well, yeah, I guess there was no real chance. They acted like there was a chance Michigan would find a way to make it happen. They said Monday they were starting some kind of workouts, and all of a sudden Wednesday, no, it's not happening for sure. So I wonder how many people I guess it's up to each school to release the numbers. We've talked about this before. Yeah, we'll have no idea.
We'll have no idea. But if they have their entire team has it, like, hey, we hope everybody survives. Speaking of T's and P's, a guy got shot.
From Notre Dame.
Former Notre Dame player.
Louis Nix.
Louis Nix. He's a big boy. There's a selfie video of him going into an ambulance, I believe. And I didn't get to hear what he said, but I think he got shot. Should we... No, I don't think so. I guess not. He did put it on the internet. It was trending. So T's and P's to him as well. I don't think getting shot is good news. I don't think that's good. Let's go to Tim down there in Pensacola. Tim, what's going on, pal?
Hey, what's up, man? Thanks for having me.
Hey, thanks for calling in, Tim. What do you want to talk about, dude?
Hey, man, I have a question, but I also have a quick story I want to tell you real quick that involves you.
All right.
All right. I am currently a photojournalist in the Navy, and I was down there in Duval County for a game when you guys were playing the Jags. And I was in my blue camo uniform with press credentials and a camera around my neck when the ball rolls up to my feet, and I look up, and it was you and the GOAT standing next to each other, and you wanted your ball back.
Well,
you and I had a...
I'm sorry.
Say again?
No, go ahead. I was going to yell at you for taking my ball, but you said the story didn't...
Oh, you wanted it back.
Okay, good.
Well, I tossed it back to you, and me and you had a quick little conversation. I proceeded to tell you that I had grown up in Indianapolis, and I was up in Broad Ripple when some things happened there, and I told you that you were a legend there for some alleged things that happened. I was wondering if you remembered that.
Well, great conversation. I'm happy we got to have that. I don't remember you trying to steal my ball, but I'm happy we got a chance to chat with you. And did Vinatieri say anything, or were we just kind of chilling? Were you near the bench?
Yeah, I was walking around with the camera. I was down there taking photos because it was like a military day. There was a big flyover before the game. I was there for that.
And I think there was a reunion, too, maybe like third quarter that night, right?
Yeah, I was involved with that.
Yes. It was I do remember this. Yeah, I do remember that. Okay, yeah. Okay, good news. Shout out to me. A lot of vitamins from that. And also shout out to you for serving. We appreciate the hell out of you.
Thank you.
What do you want to talk about, brother? What do you want to talk about?
Well, that was the day before I got selected to the Blue Angels. So that was the day that I was kind of remembering.
Hell yeah. Talking to a fucking Blue Angel. Hell yeah.
Woo! I'm not a pilot. I'm a photojournalist, so I fly in the back seat with those boys.
Oh, you're flying, baby.
Oh, yeah, but
Still cool.
Yeah.
Still cool. AJ did that once in Toronto.
AJ puked all over the plane. Did you take photos of AJ puking all over the goddamn Blue Angels plane?
He flew back seat? No, I was not involved with that. That was not on the team yet. Did he get it on the canopy? That's the big thing you don't want to do.
Did you puke on a canopy, AJ?
Puke on that?
No, all my pukes were carefully placed in the plastic bags that they gave me.
What a gentleman.
Wow.
Nice.
Oh, yeah.
What a
And
gentleman.
you stuffed them into that little pocket on the side of your flight suit then, hopefully.
Absolutely. I had all my cargo pockets full of puke when I got out.
Dude, I've been there multiple times, man. Appreciate it. But
Thank you, Tim. We appreciate you, man. Look at that. AJ, you and Tim flying in the same seat.
That's a cool photographer job.
It's a cool photographer job. Hey, I'd assume he's got some epic.
Sorry,
photos.
photojournalist.
Oh, yeah.
Remember when you and Ty saw the Blue Angels fly by outside here?
Yeah.
I do remember
It was
that.
awesome.
Fucking crowd. Remember that? There was almost a parade for them. They flew over. It was pretty quick. It was a pretty quick little Swift. I think that's a good thing. AJ, weren't you a part of the Blue Angels there for a little bit?
No, I was not. I was lucky enough to take a ride with them. I remember when they flew over Indianapolis because you sprinted out of the show that day because you heard they were coming.
It's fucking Blue Angels, dude.
Yeah.
Turns out you hear them a lot longer than you see them.
You do.
They are quick.
You do.
It was a cloudy day. It was a tough day for the Blue Angels to have flyover, but it was amazing. It was amazing. I could say something about some people who probably hated it, but they called a good game last night. Let's go to Kai in Illinois. What's going on, Kai?
What's good, bro? What's good, guys? I watch the show every day. I'm a huge fan. I just had a couple questions I wanted to ask you real quick.
Let's hear 'em.
So the first question I have, do you think that Ohio State, like the Big Ten, is trying to let Ohio State get into that game because they don't want them, like, possibly scheduling the game? I've been seeing rumors online with, like, Coastal Carolina or, like, Texas A&M because they denied, like, Maryland and I think another school earlier on in the game.
Wisconsin.
Early on in the season to reschedule the game. And then the second question I had is I'm a musician. I love you guys. I always know if I make a track, like a theme track for the show, would y'all like to take a listen to it?
Absolutely, guys. Send it to at Nick Maraldo on Twitter and Instagram. Is that what you're going to say, Nick?
I was going to send it to stuff for the show at patmcafeeshow.com, the email.
Okay, yes, stuff the number for the show at patmcafeeshow.com. Send it in there. Nick goes through there damn near every day. We appreciate you, Kai. The Texas A&M Ohio State hypothetical game, we pitched it too yesterday as soon as we started piecing it together because Diggs was thinking maybe Cincinnati, Ohio State, but Cincinnati had a COVID issue, so we just kind of immediately went to another team that they could potentially play against, and Texas A&M is ranked 5th right now. 4 versus 5 would be an awesome matchup, but there's no way the Big Ten presidents would ever let this happen, and there's no way the big money business part of this whole thing would let it happen like CCU and BYU were able to do last week on a couple of days' notice and create one of the best games of the college football season in a quick turnaround because they were able to put their swords aside and say, hey, let's do what's best for the student human athletes here. The Big Ten would not allow that to happen. Neither would the Texas A&M humans, I assume, if that was to take place.
Well, yeah, the Big Ten they set it up in advance, like, hey, you can't play anybody outside the conference, because that was the first thing here in Ohio people were talking about. All right, Ohio State's going to try to find a way to get somebody else here Saturday. Like the Fox show was scheduled to come here, all that stuff. And now I guess who knows what they're going to do. So, yeah, it changed a lot of people's plans.
Wait, so how many games has Ohio State played? 4?
Yeah, I believe they're 4-0, right?
Let's find out.
Bro.
5-0.
5-0.
5-0. And the Big Ten championship is what, 2 weeks from now? 3 weeks from now?
So, yeah.
No, because
second weekend of
supposed
December.
to be Michigan, Ohio State, so it should have been next weekend.
2 weeks.
Good, yeah.
2 weeks from now. So they're going to end 5-0 because Michigan game was canceled. In a 5-0 team, potentially 6-0. Now, what happens at the Big Ten championship game? 2 teams, one of the teams gets it. The week of, do they delay it?
Forfeit?
How's that work? What happens then?
Same with the playoff. What happens to one of the playoff teams?
Well, they said they're just going to move along. But,
So probably it'll just the other team will win.
These people are so dumb. We want our money, but we're not going to do it in a smart fashion. I'm tired of it.
Interesting.
AJ, I'm tired of it, dude. I'm fucking tired of it. The show's ending, but I'm tired of it. I think that's what. Just have a little forethought, okay? Let's dodge, duck, dip, dive, and dodge our way through the goddamn year. That's what you're going to have to do.
Hell yeah.
When you allow yourself no room to dodge, duck, dip, dive, or dodge, you're going to find yourself getting hit in the face with a goddamn wrench.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what happened to the Big Ten. And now they got the wrench in their face, and they got, the cake in their face, and now they're going to have to figure out how to do this. And they're just going to change rules and do this and do that. It's like this all could have been settled months ago.
Stinks.
But hey, we're making things happen. We're moving forward. Football's still happening. We should be grateful. We should be thankful. And that's why tomorrow when we come in, we're going to talk about Patriots. We're going to talk about Rams. We're going to talk about the upcoming NFL schedule and more. Chris Mad Dog Russo with Mad Dog Unleashed is next. You got about 6 minutes to go take a shit. Got it in there. I just slide it in there, like Baker Mayfield sliding in the end of that red carpet thing. But I had to slide it in there. I don't like this Big Ten thing. It's frustrating to me. It's very frustrating to me. These people making these decisions over there need to be. It needs
Clean
to be.
sweep.
It needs. I think so. The delay in starting the season a month after you didn't have to do that, what you wanted to. The no wiggle room. Then you say you're not changing rules. Then you change rules. It's like it's obvious there's nobody in there that has just an ounce of common sense in there, and that's a problem if I'm a Big Ten fan or go to a Big Ten school.
That's a huge problem I think we see in any profession out there. Like if you talk to anybody, I think you even mentioned it. You mentioned it earlier on the show, I think. Like I'll do that with buddies or Pistol, my dad and my brothers. I'm like, they'll start talking about something that one of their bosses or some like high level person at their companies is doing. I'm like, wait, how does this dude or this lady, how do they get that job? Like, how do they even have that? And like, I don't know, man. Like you realize like there's idiots at all levels of every corporation. Like things that happen when you relate it back to football, like things that happen between like a coaching staff and the players and all of that stuff in the front office when it comes to like an NFL locker room. Like corporations, businesses, they have the exact same problems. Like when it comes down to it, and it's crazy to think about sometimes. Like some people that have big time jobs making big time decisions.
It's inspiring though, isn't it? Hey, it's inspiring to know that if that human can make it, so can I. Now, I don't have the same connections, the same handshakes, the same people. My dad isn't whoever, my mom isn't whoever. But if that stooge can do what they're doing, I can maybe do it someday too.
Oh, and are they doing this solely because they don't want to feel the wrath of General Bob Carpenter come down on them if they don't put Ohio State into the Big Ten championship?
Haven't even thought about that. I didn't even think about General Bob Carpenter because I think he's kind of been snoozing at the job a little bit.
Waiting for something like this to happen.
Well, it's been happening for the last couple of weeks.
Let COVID get into the.
Yeah, he didn't. Yeah, he did not even. Now, I'm a little bit worried about General Bob Carpenter, too, because he should have had a little bit of a forethought that there was potential war on the horizon with this whole thing cooking off. And he's been awfully quiet, hasn't he, AJ? Has Bob Carpenter been vocal about this whole situation, or has he kind of backed off a little bit? He already won the battle. How you doing? I'm going to celebrate a little bit.
Well, I think at least online, like he's been silent almost to the not completely silent, but we don't see any red line PDFs. We don't see anything out there that he's not posting numbers and emails for different people. So yeah, maybe
is he resting on his yawnies? This guy?
He's too busy posing for new T-shirts.
Oh, those shirts are awesome, by the way. Those shirts are awesome. Those Omaha shirts are awesome. You two.
Mm-hmm.
I think they had you two rated the same, though, right?
Yeah. Same ratings for everything.
How do you feel about that, AJ?
I think it's the same ratings they have for the other 15 pairs of people they have on those shirts.
Yeah, but what do you feel about that?
Yeah, like how do you feel about you and General Bob Carpenter having the same rating?
I honestly I didn't look at it like this. I didn't compare our ratings.
Oh, so you're so mad you couldn't even look at the photo.
Well, you noticed the other shirts.
How much better was Bob than you in college?
That's a great question. Should you have been less than him? Maybe he should be the one that's upset.
Yeah.
True.
Maybe we should be asking this question to the General.
Yeah, Bobby he is bigger, stronger, and probably faster than me. So yeah, he probably should be upset.
Yeah, but don't people say like AJ Hawk, best college football player I've ever seen in my entire life?
Heard that?
Yeah, I've heard that before. In high school football too. Kirk Herbstreit said best high school football player I've ever seen.
I still feel that hit.
There it is. Zoom in.
Wow.
Yeah, it's all the same, isn't it?
Well, actually, his rush looks kind of higher than AJ's.
So does his speed.
Which is kind of weird.
And his tackle's above him, too.
Just a little bit.
AJ's hair looks more cool, though, but boy, Bobby Carpenter's got a good flow over there.
Yeah, but he does have
You kind of lost this shirt now that I think about it.
Did I?
It feels like you potentially lost this shirt, yeah. I mean,
I didn't know that was possible.
Well, look, you kind of got like a Post Malone tattoo up there on your hairline, too.
They fucked up your
Where's
nose.
Schlegel at on this?
Yeah, and what happened to Schlegel? We just kicked him out?
I know. Schlegel should be on this.
Oh, I didn't hear you guys saying that whenever the shirts were
Yeah.
getting made.
Yeah.
I didn't hear there was any, no backlash from there.
It goes off the NBA Jam situation. So if you had a third person, I think the shirt doesn't really work.
Oh, okay.
We have one. There is a homage shirt with me, Bobby, and Schlegs on it.
Yeah, you got a cereal
As there should be,
box,
by
too,
the way.
yeah.
Yeah, as there should be. That's a great shirt. We ordered a bunch of them, but now that we're looking at it a little bit closer, I think Bobby potentially tried to maybe grease some palms to get the numbers up a little bit differently and the hair a little bit different. He's going to come out, though. He's going to come out of his hibernation for this war.
I hope so.
He'll be back.
General, God damn it, we need you now, if ever.
Well, the Hawks don't need General coming in. Because
Well, but guess what? College basketball is not safe either. And I know Bob doesn't have as close of affiliation, but we need the General to maybe cross the picket line into college basketball.
Well, the interesting thing about that is Coach K wants it done.
That's what I mean.
How do you feel about that? Coach K says cancel it. Don't want to do it.
Does he just have a bad team this year? Is that
Yeah.
why?
Yeah, they got embarrassed last
they're
night.
bad.
He actually said before the season that the NCAA can't afford to not play March Madness this year. And now, obviously, he's beating a much different drum.
Yeah, because his team is getting beaten like a drum.
Yep.
So that's kind of interesting. Shut it down. Coach K thinks it's time to reassess playing during pandemic, one of the headlines, while he's pointing and yelling at somebody with something. And Coach K has obviously been a very, very, very prominent name in the sport of basketball for a long, long time. But I think a lot of people are wondering if he's still got it. Does he still got it? I don't know. Nobody knows. And now he doesn't even want to play the basketball. It's like, hey, Coach K, people need something to look forward to. And somehow there are college basketball fans out there that are looking forward to this entire run. Absolutely love it. I talked to Evan Fox whenever Izzo had a big win or something the other day. Yep. And I go, oh, you love this, huh? He was like, yeah, where I grew up, like that's what you wanted to do. You wanted to go play for Michigan State and play for Coach Izzo. And I'm like, I never had that thought in my entire life to want to play college basketball. I don't know if anybody had it. I mean, Pitt was good, but in Pittsburgh, it's like this is a football town. Where he grew up, it was like college basketball town. Bingo. There's a lot of people that love college basketball and need to look forward to it, okay? It's been a rough fucking year, Coach K. I don't know if you know that. I assume that you understand that because you seem to be in tune with a lot of things going on, but don't be taking away college basketball. Everybody's trying to take away everything already. We don't need that to be gone just because your team fucking sucks. Just suck quietly down there, okay? Everybody else will move on, and then we'll get it back with regular life, and your teams will be back to being good again. Not great, because maybe you lost out a coach a little bit, but they will be good again because you're obviously an incredible recruiter and your brain is a good one for basketball. That's the show, by the way. See you tomorrow, AJ. Have a good one, pal.